You're watching Chillyboy Productions. I'm Larry Chillyboy Chillson, and this is another hottest actor ranking bracket tournament. And if you've been following along on Twitter and Instagram, we just wrapped up all of the social media voting for this category. And as is tradition, when we have these tournaments going on, we now have a panel of guests here to help us decide who is the hottest actor for this tournament. And since it's February, I thought the theme should be actors known for romantic roles, whether that's rom-coms, whether that's romantic dramas, whether that's period romances, just romances. Or maybe they're just kind of the love interest in a lot of things. That's more or less what I went off of when I made this list. So, who do I have joining me here today? This panel may or may not be shuffling around. Who knows what it will look like at the end. But as of right now, first off, from the Hallmarkies podcast, a channel known for its romances, even though I specifically told her, no TV people on the list. Thank you. I'm sorry, no Hallmark allowed on the contest, but I had to still bring her on. We have Rachel from Rachel's Reviews.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
We've had you on one of these before, so I'm glad to have you back.
Yes, I mean, these are all beautiful people, so it's a battle.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I have a friend to the channel from BamTubeTV, Brett. Welcome, Brett.
Hi there, folks.
And this is his first time being on one of these.
Yes, I am a virgin for one of these tournaments. And
he's been on other stuff. I feel like a lot of times he's on here for like Game of Thrones related stuff.
Very Game of Thrones heavy. We share a lot of the same thoughts and feelings on Game of Thrones, so...
And my final guest, at least for the moment, my co-host, my co-creator, my partner in crime in ranting and raving about films from the CinemaSnarks Podcast. I have Ren. Hi. Ren.
Long time no see.
It has been a while. You haven't seen her lovely mug and mermaid hair for a minute.
No. They didn't get to enjoy our little phone conversation about all of the Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
I'll have to record that out loud for people.
Ren has one more to go, and then you'll be hearing us go in about these Oscar Best Picture
you can't find women talking anywhere.
Yeah, women talking. What's the struggle? Rachel still has one to go. Me and Brett, we're on it, though. We got them all 10 down, so... So if you have not seen one of these before, we basically just go through matchups. It's all basically personal preference. So whatever your own personal criteria is, that's what you can vote on. There's no specificity on how you're supposed to be voting for these. But basically we're going through. The only thing is, it's supposed to be like now. So, not necessarily in their heyday. Not necessarily when they were rom-com stars in the 90s, but 30 years later or so, fun times. That's also why I've struggled with, I want to do a classics one and just kind of do them in their heyday. But I feel like people get weird with, classic beauty types. Oh, my. Hold on. Let me cut this off real quick. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourself before we get started because I don't know why this alarm's going off. Hot mess.
No, it sounds like something scary is about to happen. Something's about to explode.
Okay, but we're back. But that's also why you're not seeing any classic stars on here because by this criteria, you'd be voting on Bones. So we're not doing that. Sorry to anyone who's into that, even though I'm not sorry. Some kinks need to be shamed. I said it. Okay, moving along. Let's get into the tournament. Kicking us off, we have Mr. Magic Mike himself, Channing Tatum, going up against funny man Owen Wilson. And we'll let the romance queen herself begin. Rachel, who are you voting for?
I think I would vote for Channing Tatum just because I think Owen Wilson, it looks like his nose is broken.
Yeah.
Poor Owen Wilson.
Valid. All right, Brett.
I'm going to be the rogue vote here, I think. I am someone who actually has never found Channing Tatum to be that good looking of a guy. I think he's vastly overrated. And Owen Wilson, he's a funny man, and a guy that can make you laugh is a guy worth keeping. So I'm going to go with Owen Wilson.
All right. Ren.
Channing Tatum makes me laugh. I don't know about you.
Very true.
I think my first response to this category is like, seriously, really? That's like, it feels like unfair to put Channing Tatum against Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson, he has gotten by on being an incredibly charming person, I think. That's how he somehow, although he's not just like, look at him and you're like, oh, that guy's hot. Nobody thinks that when they look at Owen Wilson. But Channing Tatum, you look at him and you're like, that is a beautiful, beautiful man. So, yeah, if we're just going based on like physical looks and charm still, I'm probably going to go with Channing Tatum.
Yeah, if it was close, it's not close when you bring in the dance moves. I mean,
No.
when you see Channing dance, it's kind of...
I don't think I've ever seen Owen Wilson without his shirt on. I've seen lots of topless Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
You did make a good point about Channing Tatum being funny, though.
He's funny.
Yeah, so Owen can't take that crown completely.
It's true. I was like, did we not just see The Lost City last year? His return to rom-com. So I'm also voting for Mr. Channing Tatum. All right. Next up, we have a romantic comedy queen. She also has decided to return to the genre recently in Jennifer Lopez, going up against someone I haven't seen in a while, but she did do her fair share of romantic plots, including a Nicholas Sparks film. We have Britt Robertson. So Jennifer Lopez versus Britt Robertson. I see him looking one of them up, but we're starting off with you.
I got it. I was thinking that. I was like, I know this name, but who's the face? You can't beat J-Lo. It's obviously J-Lo, 100%. I don't even need to explain why. You just already know.
All right, Ren.
I'm looking at Britt Robertson's face and trying to remember like what I've seen her in. But I mean, it's Jennifer Lopez. The woman doesn't age. I have no idea what she's been hot. She was hot in the 90s when she started doing rom-coms, and she just looks like a slightly older hot woman now. So Jennifer Lopez.
All right, Rachel.
Yeah, I gotta go with Jennifer Lopez. Although I do feel like Britt Robertson had the worst luck. I feel bad for her because she's genuinely good in almost everything I've seen her in. But I'm sure on paper most of his projects seemed really good. You know, smart moves, doing Tomorrowland and movies like that, and they just didn't turn out well for her. I just feel like she's had some really bad luck. But she's, I think, a good actress.
Yeah. Unfortunately, her bad luck definitely continues today. Because I also am voting Jennifer Lopez. I mean, Britt, you seem like a lovely person, but as Ren said, I mean, she's an ageless wonder. I mean, getting well into her 50s at this point.
She may not be a human being. Let's be real. He may be some sort of a vampire.
This should be in question, I think.
Yeah, the damn thing is still, 53. She can still move. That body is still amazing. So, Ben, you lucked out. She's already whipped Ben Affleck back into shape, really, pretty quickly after regaining that little relationship. So, also, you know, she's above like Tanks ruining her career, but also questionable taste in the roles she picks, but you know, it is what it is.
I just think that Britt Robertson, so many of her projects.
Soon.
I just think with Britt Robertson, so many of her projects probably sounded really good on paper, and then just I don't know. I just feel like she hasn't picked bad projects. It's just they haven't turned out well.
Listen, Ren, many of us think it should already be Academy Award nominee Jennifer Lopez. She was robbed of that nomination in Hustlers, okay? That's what I have to say about that situation. But
because she was really good or because she was incredible on that poll? Like, maybe
it's both. Maybe it's a little bit of blindness.
Selena might have been her.
Selena, too. She was so good, but, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Now we have another person who's strayed away a little bit from romantic comedies. We have Matthew McConaughey, and he is going up against Morris Chestnut. So we have some like 90s, early 2000s romantic guys here. About the same age, because sometimes we get some weird age gaps in these battles. But Ren, who are you going with on this one?
I'm 35, so my generation is kind of been conditioned to be in love with Matthew McConaughey and everything he does. So Matthew McConaughey for the win.
I do think Morris Chestnut's pretty hot. I do like the Best Man movies; those are really good. But yeah, like current now Matthew McConaughey. I'm gonna make things interesting. Go with Morris Chestnut.
Oh, all right.
The Best Man movies are really fun.
Brett.
This it's a bit tougher. It's not much of a challenge. The other ones were no-brainers. But for me with this one, I think, you know what? Morris Chestnut, definitely a good-looking guy. But McConaughey, not only do I think he was consistently good-looking throughout his entire career, but I also admire his transition from doing like the rom-coms and the stoner comedies to being a very seriously taken and well-regarded dramatic actor. So on top of the looks, he's got the acting chops too. So I'm going to go McConaughey.
All right. So this is always the fun part when it comes down to 4 people. Because generally that's why I like to have a little 5th person here. Because I'm going to throw this into a tie. And I'm going to go with Rachel and actually vote for Morris Chestnut on this one. So if there is a tie with a 4-person panel, we will deflect to the polls. So whoever made it furthest basically will get the tie break. And I have to say, in this first round on Twitter and Instagram, it was literally 37 votes to 36 votes. This was like the closest matchup on the polls. But Morris Chestnut did win by one singular vote.
So different. They're really the most different sort of like types of attractive.
Yeah.
That it's like really like which way do you lean as a person? Do you like nice, broad shouldered, big, luscious lips, beautiful kind of man? Or do you like the man who's a little greasy and swaggery? And, well, I like greasy swagger.
She likes the pothead. The guy who gets arrested playing bongos naked. That's what it's about. All right, next up, we have 2 that kind of give off little innocent vibes. We have Miss Constance Wu going up against Kristen Bell. And Rachel kicks us off with this
one. That's a hard one. Let me think. Maybe just because I know Kristen Bell can sing.
Okay.
Give her the edge for
Bringing
me.
levels to this.
Yeah.
Look, musical talent is sexy. You know,
Yeah.
what can you say?
That's true. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kristen Bell.
All right, Brett.
This one too is a little bit tougher. I think that Constance Wu is very underrated. I think a lot of people don't even really know who you're talking about when you mention her, but she is a very, very good looking girl. However, ever since Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I have had a massive crush on Kristen Bell. So I'm going to have to go with Kristen Bell on this one as well.
All right. How can people not? I mean, I guess she's not a big name after that, but I'm like, she starred in one of the best and biggest rom-coms of the past decade, Crazy Rich Asians. But
you mentioned that, though, no. But I think aside from that, if they haven't seen that movie, they're like, who? And I'm like,
yeah, you can mention Lyle Lyle Crocodile, maybe. No. All right, Ren.
Kristen Bell is I just love her too much all the way across the board. I love everything she does. I mean, she does some bad things that are just like, oh, that wasn't good. But she also does like incredible things like The Good Place and Veronica Mars. And I don't know if anybody else saw The Woman. What is it? The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. That's like, it's like she knows exactly my demographic and it is her demographic. And she just wants to joke about it with me. So she's adorable and sweet. And going back to this like idea of a person who can make you laugh is going to be a little more attractive. I got to go with Kristen Bell.
All right. Well, I would vote for Miss Constance Wu, but Kristen Bell is moving on to the next round. All right. Next up, we have an interesting one. Um, I'll get to it, I guess, if we ever get to him eliminated, on someone who made it very far in our tournament online. But we have Mr. Ryan Reynolds going up against McSteamy himself, Patrick Dempsey. And Brett, you are up first on this one.
So I want to preface this by saying I am a straight man. I'm as straight as they come.
Oh,
But Ryan Reynolds. I'll leave it at
it?
that. Ryan
All right.
Reynolds.
all
Everyone who
right.
knows Ryan Reynolds.
Ren, do you agree?
Yeah.
As not a straight man?
I am shocked that Patrick Dempsey got so far. I mean, he's fine. I wouldn't say no to Patrick Dempsey, but I don't know. He's got just like nice dad vibes for me. Ryan Reynolds has like this guy fucks vibes. So
All right, love the description. Rachel, are you keeping that going? Or are you going to throw Patrick some love?
I mean, it's McDreamy. Yeah, I mean, and he is the love interest in Enchanted. Who I love that movie. I want to give Ryan the a little bit of a bonus points for being in a musical. I don't know if he classifies as someone who can sing, but he gave it a good effort. He tried. And they both are very charming. They're both very similar, I think, as far as this, like, they look very similar, I think. So I will say Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
He's in a musical. Gives him the edge.
Yeah, this was an easy one for me too. I mean, a little known fact about me. I bought this movie when I was a little bit younger, and part of my awakening days for Ryan Reynolds, because he like runs around without clothes on in this movie. He gets stuck like outside of a house. So growing up in the 2000s, Ryan was definitely one of those guys. So I have to vote for Ryan Reynolds. I think I did not realize part of why he made it so far. I think there is like a Grey's Anatomy horde on Twitter. So there is like a Patrick Dempsey fan base on Twitter that found my polls.
Yeah.
Including one, I tried to even it out and I did the little star in Patrick Dempsey's name and they still found it. So I tried to I was like, oh my God, they're hijacking all these polls. So Patrick made it very far on Twitter.
Yeah,
but
you don't get, what are they on, like 18 seasons? You don't get that without a hive.
So you got your moment in the sun on Twitter, but not here today, Patrick. I'm sorry.
He's just barely a movie star. Can we be real?
He did a few rom-coms.
A television star.
He did a television star. What was the one he did with? He was in another rom-com
movie.
That movie with he was in the last Bridget Jones movie.
Yeah, I was like, and then he was in was it with Deborah Messing? He's like the best friend or something, isn't he?
Yeah, Maid of Honor.
Maid of Honor. Yeah, I was like, he did quite a few rom-coms back in his day. So yeah,
but I agree. I think he's more of a television star.
I mean, he is, but I think he fits the bill of a rom-com actor, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s. All right, next up, we have a newcomer versus a classic hottie, I guess. We got Miss Haley Steinfeld going up against Jennifer Aniston. Hi, Leo. Thanks for dropping in. Ren, you're up first.
Oh, I am desperately in love with Haley Steinfeld. Actually, it's Dickinson. That's the thing that sent me over the edge on Haley Steinfeld. So yeah, she's just gorgeous and adorable and fun, and she can sing. We all know that.
All right, Rachel, do you agree? Or are you going to stick with a fellow Rachel?
Yeah, I would have to pick Haley Steinfeld. She can sing, and I think she's a little more of like a natural beauty. Is that okay to say? Than than Jennifer Aniston.
Rachel, did you hear what Ren said about Ryan Reynolds? That's okay to say, girl. That's okay. I promise. We're good. Right. Brett.
See, I have an answer already picked because this person I consistently voted for, Instagram, Twitter, and everything. My heart hurts as such a big Friends fan, but that is 90s Jen, and we are in the modern day, and Haley Steinfeld has got to be one of the best looking girls on the planet. My girlfriend's number one. If you're watching. But Haley Steinfeld, yeah, I gotta echo what Ren said there. Just desperately, hopelessly in love with Haley Steinfeld, especially when she joined the MCU and I got to see her be a badass superhero. I'm like, yep, sold.
I mean, low key, that her being in Hawkeye brought her down an edge for me. I was like, okay, well.
I super ship her and
I'm like, okay, girl, you're a little bit annoying on this show. I can't deal with you. Move to the side, Kate Bishop. Bring back Florence Pugh. I'm tired of Kate Bishop right now. But no, I have to.
I liked her
I
in
think they're
Hawkeye.
Together.
I mean, they're cute together, but it's the Yelena show. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I just have to spit facts. Okay. But.
And they had a musical in Hawkeye.
No, Ray, please. Ray. You know what? Maybe I need to vote for Jennifer Aniston. Y'all are really like, oh, you know what? It was about Christmas. They had a musical. Ooh, that Hawkeye really. That Hawkeye, it did me in. Oh, but no, Haley, I've always thought Jennifer Aniston is pretty, but never quite got the madness over her in like the 90s and 2000s and all that. I don't think she's aged all that much either. I think she looks pretty good for her age. She's looking good. Yeah. So, but we all agree it's Haley on this one. Sorry, Jen. Better luck next time. Well, now we have another like classic versus new boy. We have Mr. George Clooney going up against Harris Dickinson. Now, Rachel, you've been avoiding Harris Dickinson's latest film like the plague. He is the star of Triangle of Sadness. But how are you voting for this one?
Go to me last.
Okay, Brett.
Look, I like Harris Dickinson. I think he's a solid actor. I really enjoyed Triangle of Sadness, and unsurprisingly, I'm one of the like 3 people on planet Earth, I think, that actually enjoyed The King's Man, and he was also in that. And I thought that he was like, he's a good looking guy and all, but George Clooney, you think of the word handsome and George Clooney comes to mind. I was raised on the idea that everyone's like, George Clooney, that George Clooney. So I think I'm going to have to vote for Clooney.
Okay, Ren.
I may have been influenced by the fact that I just watched Triangle of Sadness before voting on this, but I think Harris Dickinson is hot. He is hot. Like, again, like George Clooney, he's like older guy hot. Like he's got that furry chest thing, and it's a little more old school hot to him. Mm-hmm. Harris Dickinson is like hot young guy, like dynamite back for sure. Also, he was excellent in the Triangle of Sadness and Beach Rats. And I think I've seen him in some other stuff. But...
Yes, look at Ren remembering him in Beach Rats.
I saw that movie too, and he was in that. He does, and he's got range.
He was in Maleficent too. He was our replacement Prince Charming. Brenton Thwaites was out, and Harris Dickinson was in as the Prince Charming in that movie.
Great. I love him. I think he's fantastic.
All right, Rachel.
I think I'll have to go with Clooney. Classic.
Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to have to agree with Ren on this one. I mean, maybe if we were talking about George Clooney, like Roseanne days, like when he, you know, I dig
Golden Girls days.
Golden Girls days.
His single guest appearance on Golden Girls.
Yeah, as a nice little young detective. Maybe it would be different. These days, maybe it's look, his age, me to him is a larger age gap than me to Harris, who's like mid-20s. So I'm also gonna have to vote for Harris Dickinson. I've been on that Harris Dickinson train ever since I saw Beach Rats. So I'm on board. So that gives us a tie on this one. Unfortunately for me and Ren, George Clooney did win in the voting. So
hey, you heard, Lo was here for a second? No.
Oh. No. Okay. Well,
he was here. We almost had our tiebreaker.
We almost had the damn tiebreaker. I don't know. But all right. So moving right along. Next up, we have Haley Lou Richardson going up against another rom-com queen, Miss Sandra Bullock. Rachel, are you good to start this one?
This is a hard one because I enjoy both of these actresses a lot, but I think that I would go with Haley.
Okay.
Just as far as like current hotness.
Okay. You like that little fresh face, kind of innocent looking,
A
sweet.
little more natural look.
All right, Brett.
Personally, and I might get some flack for this, but I've never understood the Sandra Bullock admiration. I think she's a fantastic actress, but I've never really found her all that attractive personally. Haley Lou Richardson, on the other hand, especially, I don't know what it was, but just something about her performance in 5 Feet Apart broke my heart and just made me see her in a whole new light. So I'm going to go with Haley Lou Richardson.
Okay, Ren.
Sandra Bullock, man. Haley Richardson. I saw the only thing I really think I've seen her in was White Lotus, and I think I watched her and was like, this girl's supposed to be like super cute. Is she? Okay. I don't get it at all. I do not get. She's like fine. She's like girl next door sort of cute, but Sandra Bullock is a gorgeous human being. She's gorgeous, but she's been pulling off Girl Next Door for decades. Another ageless person.
I don't know. Sometimes I like people to look their age.
She also was just the voice in Bullet Train. I think that was the most like recent thing I've seen her in. And God, she's got a sexy, wonderful voice, and she just killed it coming out with her little cameo effectively at the end.
This one is tough because I thought Sandra looked really good in The Lost City. So just that recent thing, I thought she looked really good. I thought she's been looking really good. But I do think Haley Lou Richardson is really pretty. I'm going to just throw it to another tie so I don't have to make the choice. I'm going to vote for Sandra Bullock. I'm going to give it to Sandy on this one. And who won the vote? Oh, it was close. But Haley Lou Richardson did win this vote. So unfortunately for me and Ren again.
So the like lots of eyebrows thing, the like too much eyebrows thing, that's hot for people. That's a thing.
I can't talk because my queen has some eyebrows that we'll talk about here soon. So I can't get into the eyebrows because somebody I love got some wild brows. But all right, next up, we have another crazy rich Asian, the crazy rich Asian of the movie, actually. We have Mr. Henry Golding going up against someone who's more or less ditched their rom-com days for generic action movies every single year. We have Mr. Gerard Butler. And Brett, you are first.
I'll be the first to say that I have such a soft spot for Gerard Butler's shitty action movies, and some of them aren't even that shitty. Like I just watched Plane a day ago. I thought that was fun. No. I enjoyed that movie. However, Henry, thank you. However, Henry Golding is he's a wonderful looking man. He's a great actor, and honestly, a lot of people shipping him as the next Bond. Like I'm all for it. He's got the look, he's got the charm. Even though he is delving a little bit into the generic shitty action movies with snake eyes, but aside from that, I think he could take on something like a Bond or a Bond-esque role, and I'd be all in on that. He'd totally sell that to me very easily. So I'll go with Henry Golding.
Ren.
I've never got the Gerard Butler attractiveness thing. He just doesn't strike me as a good-looking man. Like period. He's kind of a weird Scottish looking dude. I don't know. He looks like he grew up in the Highlands. I don't know. Like this is another pairing that I'm like, seriously? Because Henry Golding is like godlike levels of attractiveness. Like he's like steal your breath away when you first see him on screen. Oh God. So obviously Henry Golding.
All right, Rachel.
Yeah, definitely Henry Golding. I think he's one of the most attractive people who's like ever lived. Not even just now.
Seems impossible.
Listen, I know it wasn't competition. I know it wasn't great in Snake Eyes, but my bet is also on Henry Golding for this because Gerard's accent is thick. Like I have never heard him even attempt to try to hide that accent. So I mean, so my vote is on Henry on that one too.
a passable accent is like baseline good actor level. I feel like if you can't,
I don't know.
maybe you're not that good.
Some of these people struggle. Their accents are just too much to overcome. All right. Next up, we have Miss Mila Kunis going up against Deborah Messing. And I believe Ren is first up on this one.
Oh God, Mila Kunis, just another impossibly beautiful human being. Like, I mean, I'm always going to fall for the dark hair and blue eyes, light eyes sort of deal, but she's insanely gorgeous and just the biggest blue eyes ever. Yeah, and that voice, yes, please, Mila Kunis all the way.
All right, Rachel.
Yeah, I agree, Mila.
Perfect. Brett.
Yeah, ditto to everything Ren just said. Totally, completely.
Yeah, we love you, Deborah, but this tournament it's just not necessarily the one, girl.
Not hot. She's cute, quirky.
She's pretty.
She got mom vibes,
Yeah.
really.
She's the gay bestie, the gay's best friend. So.
Tyler's not having a good time in the comments.
Oh,
We're voting against all of his wishes right now.
poor Tyler. It's okay. He loves him some redheads, I think. That's why. All right, next up, we have Mr. Zac Efron going up against Sam Claflin. And Rachel, you are slated to kick us off on this one.
Sam Claflin, he was in Me Before You, which I
The very
hated.
horrible movie, Me Before You, yes.
Yes.
He's also in The Hunger Games, Catching Fire. Or no,
then
the second or third
it's
one.
up
I can't
against Zac Efron, you said?
Yes.
I think I have to go with Zac Efron. He can sing.
Oh, back to that singing. All right, Brett.
This one is tricky. I've been sitting here thinking to myself, and I don't have a definitive answer. I love Zac Efron as an actor. I think he's hilarious. He definitely can sing, and I enjoy most of everything he's in, and he's a great looking dude. But modern day Zac Efron, I don't know what it is, but it's something just throws me off. It looks like he's had a lot of work done, and I know there was something that happened to him a little while ago, but his face just looks weird now, and I find the way he works his body, like, past the extent that it's supposed to be, if that makes sense. Like, if you go back and watch was that the horrible Baywatch remake, his body looks like it's like too ripped, and I find Sam Claflin is just, he's a more natural looking dude, and I liked him in the Hunger Games movies. I think Efron, though, definitely beats him in the acting tier, but I think that Claflin is just a more natural, good looking dude. So I'm actually going to go and vote for him.
Mm-hmm. And that Ted Bundy movie was so bad. I hated it.
That was horrible. That was not a good movie.
Ren.
Ren loved that Ted Bundy movie.
Terrible.
I liked it a lot. I think it did exactly what we're not talking about that. I don't know if any of you have seen The Nightingale. I know that Larry has, so that may have damaged my view of Sam Claflin forever. But even so, putting him up against Zac Efron is like my guy. He's got dark hair, light eyes. I like how you're like, he's too good looking. It's too built. He's way too fit. It's
just jealousy, honestly.
I think he's playing a wrestler in his next role.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why he's got that way.
Kind of like Christian Bale level, where he's like, but he also talks about how like it's not good for his body. Like he does it for his roles. It's like a commitment to the roles, but
just
like it's not healthy for you to look this hot, guys.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate the honesty there, and yeah, Zac Efron's just my guy. I had like a secret crush on him forever, but I thought he was like way too young for me, and then looked up his age and found out he's actually exactly the same age as me, and now I can
just like I'm okay.
I'm not weird about it at all.
Don't have to feel any kind of way.
I was in my 20s when High School Musical.
Yeah,
that he was in. Yeah, I was in my 20s when that came out, and I was like, it's like a teeny bobber thing. No, he was also in his 20s when that came out.
Naturally, he was playing a high schooler. Of course, he was in his 20s.
When I think about it logically, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, Zach goes through his little phases. I have to say, when he first gets something done, it's a little bit something. But then I see him when after it's kind of settled, and he looks good again. So there was one moment where I was like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to Zach Efron?" But then I saw him like a little bit later in the month, and he looked great. So I was like, "Okay, maybe I don't know what's going on." So I still think he looks good. I'm gonna also vote Zach Efron. He has those eyes too. Yeah.
Those eyes.
So it's just I have to vote for Zach. I'm sorry, Sam. Also, Sam, I need you to shave because I feel like you're much like that scraggly beard look that he has going on often is not for me.
That
So
British beard thing. It's not.
yeah.
It's not great.
All right. Well, next up we have Ms. Anne Hathaway going up against Lana Condor, a nice little Netflix rom-com queen of this age. So, Brett, I believe you are up first on this one.
I am, and I have to think about this for 1 second. I really don't actually. I'm going to go with Anne Hathaway right out of the gate. Anne Hathaway, especially, I always thought she was a really attractive woman, but then you got her in that Catwoman suit back in 2012, right when I was at the peak of my hormones and puberty. I was 14 when The Dark Knight Rises came out, and I have been an Anne Hathaway fan since then, so I'm going with her.
All right, Ren.
I think both of these women lean more cute, adorable than hot, but I think Lana Condor really leans towards cute. And Anne Hathaway is a little more beautiful, so I'm gonna have to go with Anne Hathaway.
All right, Rachel.
Yeah, I think they're both beautiful. I mean, all these people are celebrities, so of course they're good looking. But I just think that Lana Condor is so charming, and you're right, she's cute, but I'm gonna go with her.
Oh, the singing didn't win out this time. I actually don't know if Lana can sing, but
that's true. That's a good point.
Anne did win her Oscar for singing, basically. Her singing scene.
That's true.
Yeah, I think Lana is adorable, but I also have to vote for Anne Hathaway. She has that edge to her look at times that I gotta go with. So we're going with Anne. She didn't transform from like bushy haired braces girl to bombshell for nothing to lose in the first round. So we're going with Anne on this one. All right. Next up, we have Michael Ealy. And he is going up against Mr. Aladdin himself, Mena Moussaoud. Also in what I heard was a terrible rom-com on Netflix last year, but I did not watch it in the royal treatment. So we're just gonna brush past that. But
I did watch it.
You what?
I did watch it.
And
it
you
was
hated
very
it?
boring.
Oh, okay. It was just boring. Okay. Michael Ealy versus Mena Moussaoud. Ren, you're first.
Oh, okay. Michael Ealy. I don't really know anything about either of these two men. Just looking at their pictures, Michael Ealy is hotter.
Okay, Rachel.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Oh, all right. And Brett.
I think that Ealy, and I also just looked them both up too. I think that Ealy has the nicer eyes. He's got like that's the first thing that stood out to me. I was like, geez, this guy's got like really bright eyes. But I think I'm actually gonna go with Mena Moussaoud instead.
All right. And yes, Michael Ealy, a big claim to fame for him is those eyes, those very pretty eyes. But I also am going to vote for Mena Moussaoud. So that puts us back into a tie here. And when it came down to it on Twitter and Instagram, it was Mena who won on the socials. So listen, Tyler. He's gonna make it. I have faith. let that Aladdin 2 happen. And he'll be okay. Maybe. Or that might sink his career. So we'll see. We'll maybe get away from the Disney live actions.
Good indie films for a while.
Yeah, go to indie.
Like, I'm happy that he's doing rom-coms. Just pick good ones.
Yeah.
There are not a lot. We could have a whole side conversation about the quality of rom-coms coming out.
Well, especially when they're on Netflix. A very questionable, very...
No. If I want a good rom-com, I want to watch one from like 1990... that range, basically the 1990s. That's your your range for the best.
Well, speaking like of the 90s and then 2000s as well, we have Miss Nia Long, and she is going up against Mandy Moore. And Rachel, you are first up on this one.
I think I will go with Mandy Moore.
Okay. Is it because she's tangled? Is it because she's Rapunzel?
Probably, yeah, probably. She
Okay.
Sing.
Uh,
I can sing.
Brett.
This is a close one, but I think I'm also gonna have to go with Mandy Moore. I think.
Okay. And Ren.
Mandy Moore is cute. Nia Long is hot. So Nia Long.
Oh, bless you, Ren. I'm also going to vote for Nia Long. For me, this one is not so difficult.
You gave me the two pictures of Nia Long and Mandy Moore, and Nia Long's boobs in this picture are like,
well,
hello.
Old girl is in her 50s and she is living life. And she looked amazing. If you saw
50s,
yeah, if you just saw Missing,
yeah.
Ooh,
I mean, she's 52.
Yeah, they tried to like make her look a little bit like run down and Missing. It didn't work. She still looks absolutely amazing. So we have a tie between Nia Long and Mandy Moore. And I do believe Miss Nia Long did come out on top in the social media voting. Sorry, Mandy. You know, used to have, well, I don't know if she's on This Is Us anymore. So there you go.
The show isn't on anymore.
Oh, well, shows you how much I keep up. So, all right. Next up, we have Mr. Gray himself, Miss Jamie Dornan, going up against a 90s and 2000s staple of the genre, Dermot Mulroney. And I believe it is Brett first up on this one.
This one, I don't really want to vote for either one of them, but since I have to vote for one of them, I like Dermot way more as an actor. I've seen way more that he's in, and I enjoy his performances so much more than Jamie Dornan. So I'm going to go and throw the rogue vote for Dermot Mulroney.
Okay. And Rachel?
The last movie I saw Dermot Mulroney in was at Sundance last year. And it was this cow movie. He was in like a cult. It was so bad. I hated it so much. With Winona Ryder, it's really bad. But and Jamie Dornan, we all know he can sing. And he's hot. I'm gonna have to give him the win.
Okay, look at that Barb and Star coming through for you. Also, Belfast. Yes.
Yeah, Belfast. Oh,
right, Ren.
I never totally understood the Dermot Mulroney thing. He's got a nice gravelly voice. He's got some swagger, but I always thought he was a little bit funny looking. That's kind of his like vibe. So yeah, and Jamie Dornan is just adorable and hot. And like not that old men can't be hot, but Dermot Mulroney is like old now. He's like old. He's not aging really well either. He's not like, I don't think he's getting any work done.
Not a George Clooney.
No, yeah, right. George Clooney like ages, but he's always looked kind of the same. So it's
that's how I was gonna say. Yeah. I mean, I feel a little bit bad saying it, but when I made this list, I felt like Dermot, he used to be really good looking to me. And I remember him doing these little rom-com type of movies. I didn't realize he has aged quite a bit.
Yes,
so
quite a bit, yeah.
And I think Jamie Dornan is really, really attractive.
Those two men to me. Which one am I going to pick? Definitely Jamie Dornan.
I can see why they wanted him after Charlie Hunnam dropped out for 50 Shades of Grey. So yeah, I have to go with Jamie Dornan on this one. All right, next up, we have a battle of the 90s queens, kind of 2000s for one of them, and that would be Ms. Gabrielle Union going up against one of the rom-com queens who also returned to the genre last year, Julia Roberts. And Ren, you are up first.
Oh, Gabrielle Union. I've always found her beautiful, and she's another person who has not aged at all. And Julia Roberts has definitely aged. Not like poorly. She's still a beautiful woman. But if I was to pick, Gabrielle Union is a gorgeous woman.
All right, Rachel.
Oh, they're both really beautiful, and I think they both aged really, really well. I don't know. I just because I love more of her movies, I would go with Julia Roberts.
Okay, Brett.
I'm coming in with another hot take on the fact that I kind of paired Julia Roberts and Sandra Bullock together, and I never saw the craze, and I'm easily going with Gabrielle Union.
That like red dress didn't do it for you back in the day.
Pretty
The
Woman, Naughty
Pretty
Girl.
Woman dress, it didn't get it going.
Honestly, no.
Yeah, I
Fair
think
enough.
Julie Roberts is pretty, but I think Gabrielle Union is gorgeous. I've
Mm.
thought I had a crush on her instantly when I saw Bring It On. I was like, what? Who is this woman? Who is this? And yeah, I think she's actually maybe even prettier now. And she also, I think, just turned 50.
Yeah.
And I think she might even look better than she did back then. It's pretty insane. That's what, being an unproblematic pro-trans, pro-LGBTQ queen does, I guess. It just helps you to age gracefully like that. Also, having a little bit of melanin in the skin, I'm sure doesn't hurt either. So I'm voting Gabrielle Union on this one.
I did makeup design on a production of A Raisin in the Sun once, and it was very difficult to make all of these lovely people of color's skin look like it had aged. I had to really work at. Nope, they're just.
Well, it just is what it is, What can I
Yeah,
say?
it is what it is.
All right. Well, picking the pictures for him was kind of interesting because over the past year or so, he's had a very interesting style transformation, his hair as well. We have Mr. Chris Pine here, and he is going up against, from the After movies, Hero Finds Tiffin. So, Rachel, how are you feeling about this one?
Let me see this. I gotta go with Chris Pine.
Have you not watched the After films,
No,
Rachel?
of course
Oh,
I haven't.
that's- you avoided those
Yeah.
romance films, romance
They look
films.
terrible. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Brett.
Oh yeah, definitely Chris Pine. I think he looks better now. Honestly, you go back to like his Star
Oh.
Trek days. I think he needs the beard and the longer hair. Makes
Uh-huh.
him look a little bit sharper. But I don't even know who that other one is. I looked him up and I'm like, okay, no, Chris
Mhm.
Pine for sure.
All right, Ren.
Let me clarify. This guy's name is Hero Beauregard Faulkner Finds Tiffin.
Oh, there's just a
That's
couple
the
extra names
whole
in there,
thing
huh?
on Wikipedia. That's too many names.
Okay.
And obviously Chris Pine. Chris Pine is hot. It's kind of interesting, right? Because Chris Pine, especially in the picture that you picked, he looks like he's aged, but he is another man who is aging very, very gracefully. He's got those incredible, just like piercing blue eyes, and this hero fella, he looks like a tiny child to me. I know he's 25, but he like to me looks like he's only like a decade younger than me, but he looks like younger than that to me.
I'm glad that Chris chopped that hair. That's what I'm gonna say, because that first picture I chose of him is like him now because he re-chopped the hair and is going like gray
he looks better
daddy
with
vibes.
sit down than the
Last year, that
Your
long
shoulder
hair,
line.
it was a little bit of a journey. I was like, Chris, what are we doing? I'm getting a little bit of hobo vibes from what he was doing last year. I don't know, but just
Was it
in
for
the
a
base
movie?
level, I don't know what was
Probably.
happening. I mean, he didn't look like that in Don't Worry, Darling, and that's how he was looking on that press tour. So I'm not sure, but I'm going Chris Pine. I mean, come on. Especially when he does clean up, he still is gorgeous. So it's all about. He's one of the Chris's. I feel like if you're in Hollywood and your name is Chris, you have to be like insanely good looking. It's just a rule.
Well,
So
at this point now,
Yeah.
there's a whole club of them.
yeah, the Christopher Walken. I'm sorry, that rule came after you came through, so you lucked out. But all
The
right,
original Chris. He's not a Chris, he's Christopher.
Christopher. All right. Well, next up, we have also the other half of that horrible Me Before You film, but we're not judging her for that. We have Miss Amelia Clark going up against Jennifer Garner. And Brett, you're kicking us off on this one.
Jennifer Garner is beautiful. I will say that she is stunning, but Amelia Clark is one of a kind. I have to go with the Queen of Dragons and the Breaker of Chains, Daenerys herself. Yeah, easily Amelia Clark.
All right, Ren.
Jennifer Garner is another one that I logically understand why she's attractive, but I don't find her attractive at all. Amelia Clark, on the other hand, is just absolutely gorgeous. So Amelia Clark.
All right, Rachel. Her rom-com record is a little bit shaky.
Not
with
just
Amelia.
rom-com record. Her movie record has been abysmal. Let's be honest. I mean, that Terminator movie was so bad. And then now she's in the Me Before You, which I hate. So I gotta go with Jennifer Garner.
You also didn't like Last Christmas, did you?
No, I hated that. So yeah, it's been rough. So I've never seen her in a project that I've liked because I watched Game of Thrones. So.
I was gonna say, I mean, it's my queen. I'm sorry, Jennifer. You might have stood a chance against somebody else, but it's my queen. And so this is the person I was talking about. Let's not judge people on their eyebrows, because Miss Amelia's eyebrows, they kind of have a mind of their own up there.
She needs to get a new agent. I mean, seriously, she's had one terrible movie after another.
I mean, I know some people liked that Last Christmas, but. Also Henry Golding in that. So there you go.
But Amelia Clark's eyebrows stop at the edge of her eyes. That other girl's eyebrows keep going towards the middle. No, there's a difference.
Amelia's just they're like their own entity. Like they just move in the most insane ways you can imagine. Just watching her.
Piece of her, like,
so
acting
expressive.
puzzle.
Yeah. But no, it's Amelia. Come on now. All right. Next up, we have Mr. Taye Diggs going up against KJ Apa. It'll be interesting to see, Ren. You're up first. Does your theater heart win out with Mr. Taye Diggs, or are you going with KJ Apa, the new kid on the block?
I don't know who this KJ Apa person is, but he's very, very attractive. So I have to go with him.
Perfect.
That is my jawline. Yes, please.
All right, Rachel, I could pretty much pose the same question to you as a musical theater lover. Are we going with Taye, or are we going with KJ?
Definitely Taye. I think Taye Diggs is one of the most handsome humans on the planet. It's gorgeous.
All right.
And he can sing.
Yes, this is true. Brett?
I don't see much of the Taye Diggs appeal, honestly, so I'm going to have to go with KJ Apa on this one.
Yeah, it's something about them Australians in Hollywood. I have to vote for KJ too. I mean, it's undeniable.
What has he been in?
KJ Apa, I mean, he is in Rachel. Uh-oh. Tyler has declared you a certified Riverdale fan.
Oh, really? I'm a Riverdale fan.
That's his major claim to fame. He was also in that terrible movie Songbird, which I hated. But we got a little booty shot of KJ in that movie. That was its only saving grace. But I mean, come on now. All right, next up we have the battle of, again, another like early 2000s blonde pretty people with the woman who has retaken the world between being blue in Avatar and Titanic getting its re-release. We have Kate Winslet going up against Miss Rom-Com herself, Legally Blonde, Reese Witherspoon.
This one's hard.
So we'll kick this off with you, Britt.
This is a tough one, but for me, I think everyone ages, and that's perfectly fine, but some people just naturally age better than others, and I think in this case, it is Reese Witherspoon that has aged just a little bit better than Winslet.
All right, Ren.
I think Reese Witherspoon has always been very, very cute, but Kate Winslet is an elegant beauty, and I think she works a lot harder at like making sure the roles that she acts a lot more than like Reese Witherspoon does. I love Reese Witherspoon. She does a killer job with her production company and all of the like work that she does to get women creatives forward. Yeah, I think they're both incredible women, but if I had to pick one, I think I would go for Kate Winslet myself.
All right, Rachel.
Yeah, I think this one's a tough one. They're pretty close for me, but I do think that I've been very disappointed by Reese's last two rom-coms. She seems to not understand what made her early rom-coms successful. And she thinks by making them more complicated, it's making them better, and instead it's just frustrating. And whereas I think that I do agree, I think that Kate Winslet picks better roles and makes better roles, because Reese could have any role basically she wanted. So I'm gonna go with Kate.
Yeah, especially I think it was that movie The Dressmaker that I saw a few years back that came out.
Good.
She was so sexy in that movie.
Underrated. movies.
Kate
Great.
Winslet was sexy in that movie specifically, and she still looks good today. So I'm also gonna, we want to
The
paint
fact
her
that
like
movie didn't get
one of
an
our
Oscar
French girls.
nomination is just for
In
for
costume
costumes
design,
is
absolutely ridiculous.
It's because it was just on a streaming platform before people had yelled enough about how it wasn't fair to just exclude streaming platforms because they're streaming platforms. That's the only reason I can think of.
Yeah,
Right.
ridiculous.
Well, now we have
They
another.
literally had an exhibit of a traveling exhibit of those costumes. They were so great.
That movie, very underrated.
Yeah, I agree. Very underrated.
All right. Well, next up we have Mr. Josh Duhamel going up against Michael Cimino. Nice little age gap on this one as well. But is it Brett this time? No, Brett kicked us off on the last one. No, I think you are up first on this.
This is another one. I don't know who Michael Cimino is, but that is a hot, very attractive man. Like, perfectly gorgeous skin tone, great jawline, just super hot. I love the hair. He's hot. Yeah, please, Michael Cimino. Josh Duhamel's getting a little old.
Oh.
Not a fair comparison between them two, I think.
It's hard. I'm sorry. A lot of these are just random. I don't mean to put these young people against the older folks, but all right, Rachel?
I definitely go with Josh Duhamel.
Okay. Brett?
I'm going to go with Rachel on this one, actually. I didn't know who the other guy was at first, and I looked him up, and don't get me wrong, he's a good-looking dude, but I've always admired Josh Duhamel, especially as a lifelong fan of the shitty Transformers movies, admittedly. Some of them are shitty, but you know what? Any guy that can save me from giant robots attacking Earth is going to get my vote.
Wow.
I did hate Shotgun Wedding, though. It was...
I have not heard good things about Josh Duhamel's recent re-entry into the rom-com sphere with Jennifer Lopez in that new movie.
I've seen it advertised to me.
I've not watched it.
It was bad. It was bad.
Also have not watched that Reese Witherspoon one either. With Ashton Kutcher.
Bad.
Have avoided it.
Why bring back editors? What are they doing with these scripts? They're not funny. They're like easily a half an hour too long.
Yeah, no.
There's no joy in any of them. They're dramas. Give me a rom-com. Anyway, sorry, that was my rant about the terrible, terrible films.
I do think Joshua Duhamel is very attractive, but I am going with Ren on this one. I particularly find Michael Cimino to be hot. He had shot up there for me recently. And so we go to the Twitter polls. And once again, me and Ren lost. We just are not on the same. We're not on the same page with the folks of the interwebs, unfortunately. So, Josh Duhamel moves on. All right, next.
Youngins aren't on Twitter anymore.
We have another 50 Shades person making their way back in here. She has since really kind of ran far away from romances until she came back for Persuasion, which was a horrible choice on her part. But that is Miss Dakota Johnson, and she is going up against Emma Roberts. Rachel, you are up first on this one.
I feel like they're pretty close. Like they could be, I think, fit the same casting archetype. I think they could be up for the same roles. I guess I'll go with Roberts.
Oh, okay. Brett?
This is hurting my brain, this one. I grew up with such a thing for Emma Roberts, and she is still stunning. Like, she's such a good-looking girl. But over the last couple of years, I have just fallen head over heels for Dakota Johnson with like the Peanut Butter Falcon and Cha Cha Real Smooth and a few other roles. So I'm going to go with Dakota Johnson.
Okay. Ren?
I've always found Emma Robertson to be kind of gangly, like the definition of it. Like she's always really like, she's very skinny, but she's also like a little hunched over all the time. So I've never found her to be sexy. I think she's got like a pretty face, but Dakota Johnson to me is just gorgeous. And again, I'm a little bit of a sucker for dark hair and light eyes. So if you just like put those together, I'm probably going to pick the brunette over the blonde. Yeah, so Dakota Johnson. Also, she does like really, I just enjoy watching her. even in a terrible. No, I did not enjoy watching 50 Shades of Grey. I enjoyed being drunk and making fun of it, I guess. But
Well,
other stuff I've seen her in that's not like a good movie, I still like watching her.
yeah, I have to vote for Dakota. I just think she has more like actual sex appeal. Yeah. I live for shady Miss Roberts. I live for Emma Roberts in every role she comes through because she is a shady biche almost every time she's on the screen. But Dakota just has that sexy edge to her that I have to go with. So there we go. All right, next up we have Mr. Kendall himself, Ryan Gosling, going up against Cole Sprouse. And Brett, you are first.
Oh, it's got to be Ryan Gosling, of course. Cole Sprouse, I loved Zach and Cody in Sweet Life on Deck growing up and stuff. But after that, the Cole Sprouse train, I was like, yeah, anything this guy's in, I'm not with it for the most part. I did like that 5 Feet Apart one. I thought that was a good movie, but everything else like Riverdale and stuff, no. And I really just don't find he's that great of an actor or anything. And Ryan Gosling, he's a great looking guy and he can do it all. Like, he can act in the rom-coms, like good ones. He can act in dramatic roles. He can act in action movies. The guy, he's the complete package. He's got it all.
Right, Ran.
Cole guy gives me some creeper vibes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. He looks like kind of like the guy from what was that? Tara Valerian. What's that guy's name?
Dane DeHaan.
Yeah, they've got similar creeper vibes. Which works for some women, obviously, because there's like a total similar, like it's just that's an aesthetic. So yeah, I gotta go with Ryan Gosling on this one.
Rachel.
Yeah, same. Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, Cole is still really baby to me. I think it is that whole Zach and Cody thing. It's too much to overcome. So I also have to go for Ryan Gosling. All right. Next up, we have Amanda Stenberg going up against Anna Kendrick. And I start on someone who I'm pretty sure I know where she's going. We're starting with Ren.
I think Anna Kendrick is such a strange looking human. I think she looks like a strange little odd elf person. She is, I've gotten over, okay. I have a lot of like Anna Kendrick nerd hate. I know that you like that she sings. I hate that she sings. It drives me insane. She's very cute. I think Noelle is probably one of my favorite Christmas movies ever.
Okay, see, helped you out.
Anyways, and again, I don't understand her as an attractive human being at all. Don't get it. But Amanda Stenberg is going to have to be my pick because I can't even for a minute imagine why Anna Kendrick is good looking.
All right, Rachel.
Oh, I don't know. I like her singing. And I like her in movies like that Paul Feig one. Can't think of her name with
That one made me turn a little bit because I was like, all right, Henry Golding, what are we doing? We're going with Blake Lively.
Was that the simple
Look at Blake over there. Why are we asking questions?
But I thought that was really good in that.
She was good. She was good. Like her acting was good in that for sure.
Yeah.
I thought she was good. I'll give you that.
I'm going with Anna Kendrick.
All right.
I think she's charming.
Brett.
No disrespect to Amanda Stenberg at all, but Anna Kendrick is one of my all-time favorites, so I'm going with Anna Kendrick.
It's always just Ren on her own on this island.
Like I see something completely different from the entire rest of the world.
But she's not completely alone on this one. Because I think Amanda Stenberg, she does some weird choices with her appearance as well. She likes to be edgy. She likes to be like, if you saw her last year on the press tour for Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I think she is they/them. I'm not 100% positive. But I'm going to have to vote Amanda.
Not on your list that you sent over on the email.
Maybe I... See, that's what I'm talking about. There were too many names. There might have been one or two that I accidentally skipped over.
I don't see it.
But I am going to have to vote for Amanda Stenberg on this one, which sends us to a tie. Oh, this was much like the Morris Chestnut, Matthew McConaughey. This one ended up 43 votes to 41 votes. It was very much close to a tie. But Amandla Stenberg actually won the
Really?
Twitter and Instagram voting. I'm sorry, Brett.
Ren isn't alone after all.
She's not quite
Apparently
alone.
not.
No, I think I'm the only person that genuinely is like, I don't understand.
She's the only one with this that feels so passionately. I don't know anybody else who feels this passionately about Anna
But
Kendrick.
I honestly, I bet if I met her in person, she seems like the nicest,
seems
sweetest
very
person,
lovely.
and I would never want her to know that I think she is a very odd-looking little. She kind of describes herself that way, though, so
Yeah,
she might not mind.
All right. Well, next up, we talked about the dressmaker. He was a star of that. We have Mr. Liam Hemsworth going up against Luke McFarlane, who was just recently in Bros. He was kind of our romantic lead interest in that film. So, Rachel, you are up first on this one.
Yeah, these are both very handsome. I gotta go with my Hallmark guy. Gotta go with Luke McFarlane. He's great. He's so charming.
All right. Brett.
I think I'm gonna have to agree, just because Liam Hemsworth, I never saw much of the appeal, and then everything coming out lately with like all the Miley Cyrus just like dissing left, right, center. I'm like, get it, Miley. So I've always been a huge fan of Miley, so I'm gonna have to go with the other one.
Perfect. All right, Ren.
These are both two very, very, very attractive men in very, very similar, almost exactly the same ways. But I think I have to go with Liam Hemsworth. He's got them blue eyes.
Yeah.
Luke McFarlane has blue eyes.
Luke, I have to, winning question, I have to vote gay. So I have to vote for Luke McFarlane because he's an out gay actor. So yay,
Yeah,
Luke. I'm
definitely has
voting for
blue
you.
eyes.
He does have blue eyes.
Yeah.
Also, Liam Hemsworth, I'm sorry. I know some people actually prefer him and have told me that they think he is the hotter of the brothers. And that has always given a bad taste in my mouth where I'm like, I don't know how you see that because it's very clearly not the case. But Chris is very clearly the most attractive brother. I'm sorry.
I'm glad I'm here to defend poor Liam.
Liam, look, and he just took.
It's hard when you have Thor as your brother.
No, but there are people who are like, no, he's hotter than. No, he's not. Let's just be very clear. Also, he is not going to fill the role of Geralt nearly as well. He's not going to be able to bring the sex appeal to that role that Henry Cavill brings. It just is. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's not.
I feel like I'm also voting for Liam Hemsworth just for like I might as well do it while I'm not mad, actively mad about The Witcher.
All right. Well, next we have Emma Stone versus Queen Latifah. And I do believe, is it Brett on this one?
I think, is it me first? It might be. Either way,
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Emma Stone. I was thinking, and you know what? Like, I love Queen Latifah, and she is really the complete package. Like, she can act, she can sing, she can rap. She's great, she's funny, but I think Emma Stone, she's always had a little something that I've enjoyed. So I'm going with Emma Stone.
All right, Ren. Is the La La Land bias really holding you back right now? Rachel, she's the other one who doesn't like La La Land.
Hate La La Land.
I don't hate it. I just don't think it's like
it's not
overrated.
I told Larry it was fine when I saw it, and then everybody got really excited about it and really thrilled, and then I was like, no. Then I started picking it all
reinvent
apart.
The musical. It was perfectly fine, and then
I think Brett loves La La Land. He's like chilling in the corner.
I don't love it, but I did enjoy it more than I expected to. As a fan, as someone who doesn't genuinely or generally enjoy musicals, I actually did enjoy La La Land.
Okay.
I like Sing Street better.
I'm gonna go with my Emma Stone Cruella vibes and Easy A vibes and say I can pick Emma Stone in this situation.
All right, Rachel.
It's hard because these two are like totally apples and oranges. Like they completely look different. There's like it's really hard to compare them.
And their sex appeal is different too. Like what makes them attractive is just very different.
So just keep things interesting, I'll go with Queen Latifah. They're both beautiful.
Look, Rachel's repping for the bigger girls in this tournament. We gotta give our plus size queen a vote.
And they can both sing. So.
Yes, they both can sing.
They're both in musicals.
To at least a decent degree.
I think Queen Latifah. We're gonna
Queen
go by
Latifah sings a little bit better.
Queen Latifah definitely would win this round.
Yeah.
Oh, it's tough. I do think she just looked so good in Cruella recently. But then I saw the one thing that almost turned this. I saw Queen Latifah at the Grammys, and she looked amazing at the Grammys. That was one where I was like, whoa, hey, Queen Latifah, you are looking good these days, girl. But I do get a little bit more. I think it's just because maybe age. She gives a little bit more motherly vibe to me, and she gets kind of pigeonholed into that role. So I'm also going to have to vote Emma Stone. But we love you, Queen Latifah. You are wonderful. All right. I'm hoping to get Brett through the whole first round, and we're almost there, Brett. So I have next up Glenn Powell, who is shot to stardom, flying airplanes in multiple movies this past year, going up against Jacob Elordi, who is kind of a Netflix king, as well as obviously that show on HBO that we all know, Euphoria. So, Ren, I believe you are up first on this one.
Ooh, I find if you were to put these guys up against anyone else separately, I probably would have picked the other person.
Ooh.
Well, okay, because Jacob Elordi in Euphoria is just so incredibly repulsive. It's hard to look at him as an attractive human being. And Glenn Powell is fine. I think I like his little snarkiness was it in Top Gun that he was in?
Top Gun, yes.
This old snark monster. And he was in that other not Dazed and Confused. It was a Richard Linklater film.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I'm gonna have to go with Glenn Powell, I think.
All right, Rachel.
I think Glenn Powell is so attractive. And I think he's one of the most beautiful actors working today. And then I hated Kissing Booth so much. It was so bad. And it was so long. I gotta go with Glenn Powell.
All right, Brett.
Oh, it's a no-brainer for me. I have to go with Glenn Powell. I loved him in Top Gun Maverick, and honestly, cast him as Hal Jordan in the DCU and inject it into my veins. Get him flying planes and everything that this man is in. Glenn Powell for sure.
Yeah, I don't have the Euphoria or Kissing Booth biases. I haven't watched any of the Kissing Booth movies or Euphoria. So I do find Jacob Elordi to be an objectively attractive person. I think he's cute, but Glenn Powell's got the body. He's got the swagger. I actually first remember him on Scream Queens. If anybody else watched that show back in the day, the first season was so good.
Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts was on it too. Jamie Lee Curtis was on there. I mean, that first season was so good, but much like anything done with Ryan Murphy, it cannot last. But Glenn Powell was also on there, and I think he was kind of gay with Nick Jonas, or Nick Jonas's character was gay and kind of had a crush on Glenn Powell. But anyway, that's besides the point. I thought he's attractive since then, so I'm gonna go with Glenn Powell.
When in doubt, choose gay.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next up we have Miss Zoe Deutsch, and she is going up against Amanda Seyfried. Rachel, you are up first on this one. I know you love Mamma Mia.
I think that these are also both, I feel like they could be going for the same roles. They're very similar as far as archetypes. I think they look pretty similar. I'm going to go with Zoe.
All right. Brett.
It's a tough one. It's one of those situations again where I had a thing for Amanda Seyfried growing up. And I really, really, I still think she's incredibly attractive. Don't get me wrong. But just recently, I did rewatch Zombieland Double Tap, and I love Zoe Deutsch in that. So I think I'm going to have to go with Zoe, too.
All right. Ren.
Amanda Seyfried, no question for me.
Oh, my.
Just gorgeous. Huge blue eyes, the biggest smile mouth ever. She's just gorgeous. Zoe Deutsch is cute. Amanda Seyfried is gorgeous.
There was a while that in my head I would get Zoe Deutsch and Haley Lou Richardson mixed up a little bit as they were coming up early on. I have to say though, I think Zoe Deutsch has gotten hotter as she has gone on, and I just like the role she plays. So I am going to agree with Rachel and Brett on this one and vote for Zoe to push her to the next round. All right, final two male matchups. We have Mr. Netflix rom-com himself, Noah Centineo, going up against a 2000s icon and still a voiceover icon for commercials to this day, Josh Lucas. And Brett is first up for this.
I gotta remember who Josh Lucas is.
Sweet Home
see. Hold on, let me-
Alabama?
Home Alabama.
Oh yeah. Actually, for some reason, most recently, the thing that popped into my head when I saw his face was when he was in the Forever Purge, just like a few years ago. When I first saw his face, I was like, oh yeah, that guy was in that, wasn't he? See, it kills me because I don't really like Noah Centineo that much, but when you're comparing these two, I feel like by default I have to go with him. So I'm gonna have to go with Noah Centineo.
All right, Ren.
Noah Centineo. It's got that little Italian boy vibes going. I'm in it. I'm into it.
Rachel.
I think Noah Centineo is so charming. I love him in the To All the Boys movies. I think he's great in those, and those are probably the best rom-coms that Netflix has made, and there's a slew of them. They're really cute, and I just think he's great. I think he has huge star potential. They kind of wasted him in Black Adam, but I think he could be a big star.
Yeah, that's another one. I think Josh Lucas is attractive enough, but he's also aged up and down. Not the best.
Like a dad these days.
And Noah,
not a Dilfy dad.
Noah looks good. I find Noah to be quite attractive, so I'm also voting for Noah Centineo. All right, kicking us off, we have the period piece romance queen herself, Miss Keira Knightley, going up against the other After co-star that nobody else has watched. I'm the only one who tortured myself by watching that first two After films. Josephine Langford. And Ren, you are first up.
I've never really found Keira Knightley to be an incredibly attractive person. No. She's another gangly human, right?
This comes from a bisexual person who grew up like in the prime of Keira Knightley.
I know.
It's a shock.
I know she was never quite like my favorite thing. Yeah, she's just a little too hunchy, gangly, very skinny. She's like, a little tiny twig of a person. I like women that are a little more curvy, got some
va-va boom.
Some va-va boom. That's great. I like that. But I don't know who this Josephine Langford girl is. She doesn't really, just the two photos you sent me, I think Keira Knightley looks a lot hotter. So I guess I'm going to go with Keira Knightley, but I don't generally think she's very hot.
Okay, Rachel.
I'll definitely go with Keira Knightley. Sorry, it's Lizzie Bennett. I mean, come on.
And Brett.
I did not know who Josephine Langford was at first. I just looked her up, and I think she is an incredibly attractive girl, but I think the inner child in me who grew up living off of the first three Pirates of the Caribbean movie would pop out and kick my ass if I didn't say Keira Knightley. So I'm also going to go with Keira Knightley.
I was gonna say, she's one half of the duo that was like the bisexual awakening for a generation. I mean, her and Orlando Bloom helped a whole group of people start unraveling feelings. So, and she looks great. She looks great with her updos and her big old ball gowns and period.
Oh, but I hate Atonement. I think Atonement is the most boring movie. So annoying.
All right, and then our final male matchup, we have 90s heartthrob, questionable these days, but 90s heartthrob for sure, Leonardo DiCaprio, going up against a more recent love interest from the very lovely, spoiler alert, and Knock at the Cabin. We have Ben Aldridge, and Rachel is up first on this one.
I guess I'll go with Ben Aldridge. He's very attractive, I think. Leonardo DiCaprio is fine.
All right. Brett?
Since we're talking modern day, I love Leo. He's probably my favorite actor of all time. You got 90s Leo, and even like recently, like Wolf of Wall Street Leo too was just great. But he's definitely showing his age, and he's also, I know he doesn't give a shit, but he's giving off such major creeper vibes right now. So I'm gonna have to go with Ben Aldridge, I think.
All right, Ren.
Yeah, I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio has aged very well. He's very puffy these days. He's also gross with all those way too young for him partners. Consent is fine, but also like it just says to me that you are not a whole adult grown-up human being that can have a real adult grown-up relationship. So yeah, that just kind of edges him way down real quick. Also, I loved Fleabag, and that was Ben Aldridge thing. So. Ben Aldridge wins.
Okay, and once again, my rules. When in doubt, vote gay, and Ben Aldridge is also gay, so I have to. And I think he is so attractive. Basically, once I watched, spoiler alert, and then seeing him again in Knock at the Cabin, I was like, oh my, okay, yes, I am down with Ben Aldridge, and must echo once again, Leo, what are we doing here, sir? And coming out with these articles talking about you hate that your image is that you don't date over 25. Sir, you have full control over that. If you date over 25, then we will stop saying it. So... Yeah. You have autonomy over that rumor, not really a rumor because it's the truth. So
I have yet to meet a guy who dates way too young for him that doesn't like dig in his heels about how it's legal, and so everybody should just stop.
And he's lost a lot of his charm. Not, everybody loved him in the 90s, of course, when he was a little twink of a man. But nowadays, sorry, Leo. All right, in our final female matchup, we have the Mean Girl herself, who actually, after Mean Girls, has played mostly very nice and pleasant women, Miss Rachel McAdams, going up against Love and Basketball heartthrob herself, Miss Sanaa Lathan. And Brett, you are first.
For me, there's no contest here. It has to go to Rachel McAdams. I've always had a thing for her, and plus, she's a good old Canadian girl, so I'm going to go Rachel McAdams.
Oh, okay. I feel like I didn't even know she was Canadian, to be honest. So, hey, it doesn't surprise me. Once you look at her, I feel like you can sense the Canadian. All right, Ren.
Sanaa Lathan gives me like, she's going to teach me all of the most important things in the world. She's just got such incredibly regal vibes. But Rachel McAdams is hot, so Rachel McAdams.
Perfect. And Rachel?
I mean, yeah, both of these people are very attractive. I'm actually going to go with Sanaa Lathan. I think she's absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and one of her rom-coms, Something New, I think is way underrated. It's one that tries to actually like talk about some deeper themes of these people, and I think it's really well written and really well
it actually
acted.
Succeeds in doing so, not like Reese Witherspoon trying to talk deeper.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a really good movie, and the Best Man movies are really good, and
Love and Basketball is really good.
Yes.
I looked at more pictures of Sanaa Lathan, and I changed my vote.
She is so beautiful.
The betrayal.
I just had to get some different angles. She just looks really regal in the one picture. I'm looking at others, and I'm like, oh no, she's gorgeous. Now I remember her. She's beautiful. Yeah.
This is really tough for me as well. Obviously, I picked Sanaa. I feel like she's very underrated just in general, and I wish she got more work generally because I think she's stunning and she's really talented. But I've always had a thing for Rachel McAdams. So I have to go with Rachel on this one. It's really close. This was like one of my personal toughest matchups of the first round. So that puts us at a tie now that we got a switch up. And, well, the more famous one definitely won the Twitter and Instagram polls. It was definitely Miss McAdams on this one. All right, Brett, I know we're keeping you up late on a school night. No, on a work night. Let me
Unfortunately, yes.
So thank you so much for coming on, though. You made it through the first round, and now it'll be 3 of us, so we won't need to vote on the Twitter polls. It's
There you
just us
go.
now.
Yeah, it's even easier now. Honestly, this was so much fun. I definitely want to get on the next one. Hopefully on a night that I don't have to work early the next morning. But honestly, thank you so much for inviting me. This was a blast. I love talking to all of you, and I will definitely be putting this on while I'm at work tomorrow morning and seeing who won. I got my girls and I got my guys that I'm rooting for, so
Okay.
I'm excited to see how the rest of this plays out.
All right. Thanks, Brett.
Bye,
You,
Brett.
see ya. Fun.
Ooh, all right. Well, now that it's just us, we kick off the second round. with just us girls here today. All right. So next up, we're back to Magic Mike, Channing Tatum, and he is up against one of the best friend wedding folks. We got Mr. Morris Chestnut. Rachel, you're up first.
I think between those two, I'll go with Morris.
Oh, okay. Ren.
Still Channing Tatum.
Okay, so I do love me some more. Look, I love to crack a chestnut in this case, but again, it's just the dancing. Like, there's just something, even in the new Magic Mike, just watching him move is just amazing. I don't know what it is. It's just an art. It's a beauty. It's a beauty. Even now, he has still got it and still kills it on the dance floor. So I have to vote for Channing Tatum as well.
Man who knows how to move his body. It's a very sexy thing.
It's a very sexy thing. I cannot deny it. But I love you, Morris. I also think you are very underrated in the mainstream. All right, next up, we have Miss Jenny from the block, Jennifer Lopez, up against Kristen Bell. Ren?
I think I have to go with Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
She's just, an icon. It's really hard to top that.
And Rachel?
Yeah, I agree. Just as far as it's just like appearances, I think you gotta go with J-Lo. I mean,
Yeah,
they're both beautiful, but
Kristen is very adorable. See, this is that one. That's kind of like an adorable personality.
Super cute.
It's just hard when you come up against like a stunner. Like, just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Jennifer Lopez is a goddess.
she like radiates. It's,
Yeah.
it's hard to go up against that.
I think Kristen Bell would probably pick J-Lo.
Yeah, I think so too.
She would.
All right. Well, next up, we have funny man Ryan Reynolds up against OG heartthrob for many in this generation, Mr. George Clooney. And Rachel, you are up first on this one.
George Clooney for me.
Oh, all right. Ren.
Ryan Reynolds for me.
Yeah, it has to be Ryan for me. I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry. It's too much.
I'm seeing they're just the shirtless, the two.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, he's funny and he's hot. It's too much,
Yeah,
even now.
It's too much.
Rachel, he sings, remember? He tries.
I
I don't know.
know.
I've never heard George try to sing, I don't
No,
think.
it's
Well,
true.
no, that's a lie. He sang in Brother O Art Thou, yes?
Oh yeah, true. He did sing.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. You saved me.
There we go. All right. Well, next up, we have Haley Steinfeld up against Haley Lou Richardson. The battle of the Haleys. Ren?
Haley Steinfeld.
I was gonna say, after that spiel you gave last round, I figured.
She basically dominated every single round when she came up. It was like, Haley.
Rachel?
Yeah, I agree. Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, I think Haley Lou Richardson's very pretty, but Haley Steinfeld, she's also really transformative. Like, if you just watch like her social media, sometimes I'm like, that doesn't even look like her. Like, I don't know if I would have recognized her because she just, I don't know if it's the makeup or what, but she can transform that face a lot. So, Haley, it is. Bye, Lou Richardson. I'm sorry that the gays got you on the second season of White Lotus. Well, they didn't really get her. They just got my girl. They just got my girl, Miss Jennifer Coolidge. But
You spoil the season for everyone on your.
Sorry about it. But if you haven't seen,
For the entire.
listen, it's a meme at this point. Jennifer Coolidge saying, "Have you seen the gays? They're trying to get me," is like a meme at this point. Everybody has seen that scene. Everybody's seen her running around shooting that gun in the boat too. So I didn't ruin it. The memes ruined the season for people.
Jennifer Coolidge, my hero.
All right. Well, next up, this really killed Red. I have to tell you all. In the online like voting, this was Ren's nightmare. We had Henry Golding up against Zac Efron.
Oh yeah.
Rachel.
Henry Golding.
All right, Ren.
I have to pick Zac. If it was, that's what I told Larry. If it was anyone else, I would have to pick Henry Golding. But Zac Efron is like my dream guy. So Zac Efron.
All right. Well, I have to vote with Rachel on this one. I have to go with Henry Golding. It's just
Fair. It's fair.
It's the suaveness. It's just
I'm not
everything.
mad about it.
Everything about him is just like, okay, yes, I agree. Make him Bond. I think he's a great choice for Bond.
Yeah, I agree.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, we like you, but step to the
Larry's
side.
spoiling shows he doesn't watch.
Yeah, see, Ren, I knew the ending, and I have not watched the season. So,
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
do you watch White Lotus, Rachel?
No.
All right.
I'm too busy watching TV movies. I don't have
That's
time
true.
for shows.
You're on that Hallmark train, constant 24/7 Hallmark. Ain't got time
Yeah.
for
There's
HBO.
a lot of Hallmark.
There's a lot.
It's when we say full-time job, we mean it when it comes to
Yes.
covering Hallmark films.
Yeah, although they do have a new show called The Way Home that's actually really solid. It's a time travel drama story between
Okay.
3 generations of women. Andy McDowell's in it. It's actually really good.
Okay, Andy McDowell seems like a perfect fit for Hallmark in my head. So
Yeah, I mean,
good.
she has done a lot on Hallmark, including she did another show called Cedar Cove and a bunch of movies. But this is just something really different. Something they've never done anything quite like this before, and I think it's
Larry,
it's got
next
Kyler
question.
Lee from Supergirl. She's in it. It's actually I think a show that almost anybody would like. It's really
Larry,
well
next
done.
Christmas we're gonna do the bad Christmas romance movies episode of CinemaSnarks that I always wanted, and Rachel's gonna join us.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I
See?
do on this movie.
She is the Christmas queen. So, you know. All right. Next up, we have Mila Kunis versus Anne Hathaway. Ren?
Mila Kunis.
Oh, that was quick.
We've already explained.
I already agree. I agree.
Rachel, oh, you agree? Yeah, Anne, we love you, but I agree as well. Mila. It's Mila. All right.
She's been incredibly gorgeous for always.
Always. Another person who I think has probably gotten more attractive as she's aged, I think. She's always been very pretty, but I think she's like hit a peak. Now, that whole showering your children saga with her and Ashton, that was a little bit questionable. But, you know, as a person, she looks good. Just don't talk about not showering the children, girl, and then we'll be okay.
Well, it's been cool to see like her support of everybody in Ukraine too, and that whole thing.
Yeah.
think it's
Oh,
cool.
yeah. No, she's a good person. It was just quite a funny tidbit. And then
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal followed that up talking about how he doesn't shower. And we were all like,
It's like, we
okay,
don't
what,
need to know every detail of your life.
what's really going on in Hollywood? They don't make showers? Like, what are you people doing? Get in the shower, please. But all right, next up we have Mena Moussaoud up against Jamie Dornan. Rachel.
Jamie Dornan.
All right. Ren.
Also Jamie Dornan.
Okay, well, since it's decided, I'm just gonna throw a bone to him because, as Tyler said, I'm trying to make him happen with desperately at this point. I'm a vote for Mena, but Jamie Dornan will be advancing. All right, next up we have these two beautiful 50-something queens. We have Nia Long up against Gabrielle Union, and Ren, you are up first on this one.
That one's hard.
I know. I agree.
I think I gotta go with Gabrielle Union just for the homage of it all. I think she's just been around longer and in my periphery. So
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
We have to catch Ren up on some 90s black cinema, I think. And then she'll know a little bit more about Nia Long back in the day. She was
Probably.
there. She was there. But
I believe you.
Okay, I'm gonna be the contrarian yet again. I do think Gabrielle is beautiful, but I would personally vote for Miss Nia Long on this one. But Gabrielle is moving right
Okay.
along.
Can we
All
take
right.
like a 1 minute break? I'll be right
Yes,
back.
go ahead,
Okay.
Rachel. Go on.
All right.
We need, when it's this thirsty out, we need beverage. We need to parch ourselves. and pop.
Nice product placement.
Your nice Wendy's. Maybe one of these have. Oh no, that's creepy. Let me not even say.
Trying to hear you.
There's no Wendy's. I don't know.
There was a sponsorship deal.
Hey.
Anyways, you got millions. So
Yeah, you got money to spare on a tiny little YouTube channel over here in this corner.
You feeling spicy with those spicy chicken sandwiches?
Look, see, we already have the plug ready to go.
So easy.
Yes, one of these times maybe. I'm just so look. I talk about being anti-TV, and yeah, I'm doing all these reactions. I was like, one of these times we should do just a TV version, like TV stars only. But it's so hard these days because so many TV shows have movie stars on them anymore. So
Yeah,
like,
it's not the death knell of your career anymore. It's
I know.
actually a great way to like jumpstart it.
Yeah, a lot of so differentiating between TV stars and movie stars in this day and age, it's too difficult.
There's limited series too, where it's like, oh, it's not really like a show. It's technically a show, but it really has more of the cadence and construction of a movie.
All right, Rachel, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, see, we're back for the thirst. She's quenched her real life thirst for the TV and film world thirst. All right, next up we have Chris Pine versus KJ Appa, and Rachel is first on this one.
Chris Pine. I didn't even vote for this KJ the first time.
All right, Rand.
Chris Pine.
I always forget where he was. Was he number 2 on your Chris list?
I think he's number 1 now.
Oh, is he number 1? Okay, he's number 1 on the Chris list.
It's hard. Him and Chris Hemsworth kind of like swap out a lot, but I think Chris Pine might be the one.
It's those really bright blue eyes because they both have blue eyes again, but
he's
are
got the dark hair and the bright blue eyes.
Vibrant.
Hemsworth has the blonde hair.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Chris Pine as well. I mean, when he's in full form, he's
so much charm all the time. Everything he just oozes it in every single role that he's in. Even Chris Hemsworth can't touch it. I don't think.
It's like, yeah, even in these bad movies, he does sometimes. You're like, okay, Chris, hey, and I mean, he's Steve Trevor. I mean, how dreamy was he as Wonder Woman's romantic lead?
The ending of I guess people hate the ending of Wonder Woman. I thought it was every time I've seen it, I bawled my eyes out.
It's definitely a strike against the second Wonder Woman. Is that
that one's a monster.
That they kind of undo the emotional weight of what the first one meant. I mean, they don't completely because it's like a loophole, but it's kind of weird. So, but the ending of the first one is just so good that going back on that in any way and her character development through that is kind of strange to decide to undo that. But look, listen, Patty, hand over the pen, and you can stay in the director's chair, but Patty, hand over the pen. Okay, but all right. Next up, we have Mr. Josh Duhamel going up against Ryan Gosling. Rachel,
I think I gotta go with Ryan Gosling. They're both very. I feel like they're similar casting types too.
Were you a big The Notebook fan growing up?
Not like a big fan, but he's very hot in it. I think anybody can deny it.
All right. And Ryan
Gosling, wasn't he a Mickey Mouse Club member too?
Yeah, he was.
He was there with Brittany and Christina.
Fast Forward with Jewel Staite and Ben Foster. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds from way back.
Ryan Gosling.
That one. Well, Ryan Reynolds too. All the Ryans. I'll take them.
It's so funny. Our friend Leslie like views Ryan Gosling as a baby still because she still like sees him as young Hercules in her head. So she just cannot think of him as an adult human being, even though I'm pretty sure they're darn close in age. Like I'm pretty sure they're like the exact same age. So because he has to be near 40, right? If he was in it with Brittany and Christina and Justin. So
Not like me over here, who as soon as I found out Zac Efron was the same age, I was like, excellent, please.
yes. All right. Well, next up, we have the mother of dragons, Emilia Clarke, going up against the mother of the box office, Kate Winslet. Ren, you are up first.
Emilia Clarke.
Rachel.
For me, it's definitely Kate Winslet. I mean, I've loved her ever since Sense and Sensibility, and I've never
Yeah.
seen a good Emilia Clarke movie.
No, it's Amelia for me. I'm sorry, Kate. It's too much. It's I don't have that box office disdain, that movie disdain Rachel has towards Amelia.
Last Christmas.
Oh, that twist was so stupid. I hated
Geekly
it.
Good sent me like a picture. I guess there's this like year-round Christmas store in San Francisco, and he went in there and he was like, "Oh my god, a Christmas store that's open year-round!" And I was like, if Michelle Yeoh and Emilia Clarke aren't in there, I don't care. Like that's the only year-round Christmas
Denver
store
that's open year round.
I'd be a fan of that. I think I've been to that store before. But,
Yeah, I'm like, no. If Michelle Yeoh isn't running it with Emilia Clarke working as a little like Christmas elf, I don't care.
it
Don't.
was just the twist was so stupid in that movie. I could not deal with it. Anyway,
All right. Well, next up we have Rachel. Now it gets tough for you. We have Hallmark's own Luke McFarlane up against Glenn Powell.
ooh, it's tough. That is a tough one. I think I gotta go with Glenn Powell. I just think he's so dreamy.
These two have very similar looks. I noticed that when I was picking like pictures to put
Yeah.
them on the social. I was like, very classic white handsome man kind of vibes from both of them.
I mean, they both are very good-looking humans, but I don't know. Just Glenn Powell. He might be number one on my list. Just as
He's got
far
that.
as
He's got that
movies
swagger
are.
for you too.
Yeah,
Rachel. All right, Ren.
Set It Up is so good if you need.
Glenn Powell's
you know.
swagger might move too much into douchebag for me. I'm sure he's a lovely person in real life, but it like I don't know. There's something
Have
about
you
him
seen
that's
Set It
like,
Up
douchey.
on Netflix? He's really.
Huh?
Have you seen Set It Up on Netflix? It's actually a good one.
Oh, is that
Zoe
one with
Douche.
the other girl that I didn't like?
Emma
Zoe Douche?
Roberts.
No.
Isn't
oh,
Emma
wait.
Roberts in that, or who is
No,
it? In
Zoe
No,
Douche
is
is
that
in
the
it.
that?
one
Zoe
with
Deutsch.
Lou?
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Mhm.
What?
So Lucy Liu and oh my god, who was the other guy? Whatever. Yeah, I have seen that one. That one is super cute.
That one I
I don't
love.
think he's unattractive, but I think Luke McFarlane, he just I don't know. He looks like more traditional, just like hot dude.
He's very hot. There's no
Yeah.
question.
I'm sorry, Rachel, and I'm sorry, Top Gun Maverick, but I'm also gonna have to vote for Luke McFarlane on this one.
Glenn Powell's doing just fine.
Yes, Glenn Powell's career is like skyrocketing
He'll be
into
just fine.
orbit. He is doing amazingly well.
Luke McFarlane needs the boost. The
Yes.
little boost for my little
That's true.
podcast.
All right. Well, then we have Dakota Johnson up against Amanda Stenberg. Ren.
Dakota Johnson. I think it's just an age thing for me personally.
Okay, Rachel.
Yeah, I agree. Even though I hated that Persuasion movie so much. It's so bad.
Hated. Rachel had Venom. It was also on my top 10 worst list of
It was
last year.
terrible.
I did not like it either at all.
I didn't hate it. I liked it. I don't know.
Also, part of me
People
just
have
hates.
never read the book before.
I hated that they did a bait and switch. Like they promoted Henry Golding so hard, and
Yeah.
his
And then
role
they make
was
him
like,
a happy ending. What?
no,
Henry Golding does not get enough play. There's not
yeah, he
enough
needs a
people.
better. Speaking of better agents, both of the people from Last Christmas, Henry, we need to get your agent on the phone, actually, sir, because
Yes.
these last few roles you've taken, questionable. All right, well, we're going to continue on with the female side because at some point I must have just skipped them. So we're doing Emma Stone and Zoe Deutsch. Rachel.
Again, I feel like these two are they'd be up for the same roles. They're very similar archetypes, I think. I would give it to Zoe.
Okay. And Ren?
A stone.
All right. Well, I'm going to do the maybe controversial choice. I am also going to vote for Zoe and kick Emma Stone to the curb, girl. I'm sorry. It just... All right. I left you an easy A.
They're auditioning for the same parts. They're very similar.
I do think, from what I've seen, Emma's the better actress, so I will give her that. She's probably winning most of the parts that they're auditioning for.
Yeah.
But I also have Aloha stuck in my head, Emma, when you tried to pass off as Native Hawaiian. So let's not.
Weird.
Let's be clear, Emma. Maybe don't audition for those type of roles anymore.
And Zoe's also in Set It Up.
There you go, Zoe. Yeah, she's the other lead you said.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our final male matchup of the round. We have Mr. Noah Centineo up against Ben Aldridge. And Ren is up first.
Ooh, Noah Centineo for sure.
All right. And Rachel?
I think both of these are very attractive, but I think I go with Noah as well. He's so charming.
All right. I would have had to go with Ben on this one, but I have been outvoted. So Noah Centineo, our young heartthrob, is moving on to the next round. All right. And our final matchup on the lady side, we have Keira Knightley up against Rachel McAdams. Rachel?
I feel like they're pretty similar also, but...
You just think everybody's similar, Rachel.
Oh, no, they're both brown-haired white girls about the same age and same body type, so I don't know.
Look, let's just say it's because we're doing the romance, and a lot of the same kind of people get cast in a lot of these romance films. We're diversifying it a little bit, but it's a lot of similar archetypes for romance.
That's fair. I will go with Keira Knightley.
Okay. Ren?
Man.
Even though I hate Atonement, it's the worst.
I don't know. I guess Rachel McAdams.
Oh, okay. I have to go Rachel McAdams. I'm sorry, Keira. It's just, I don't know. There's always been something about Rachel that I have found a very attractive, very endearing person overall. You know, plus, I mean, she's the OG, like, it girl of my generation. So it's what I have to do. All right. Round 3. We start off with Mr. Magic Mike Channing Tatum up against Ryan Reynolds. Ren, you're up first on this one.
You gotta go with Channing Tatum.
Oh, she's
hard. I know.
Sticking on the Channing Tatum train.
About his dancing.
It's true.
He's a brown-haired boy with blue eyes. So I think Channing Tatum.
All right, Rachel.
I will go with Channing Tatum.
Okay. Wait, you've seen the newest Magic Mike, Rachel?
No, I have not.
Oh, you haven't? Have you watched any of them?
No.
Oh, okay. I have to say that the first dance he does with Salma Hayek is something.
I have seen Step Up, though. Step Up, maybe.
And yes, obviously Step Up. You know, this last Magic Mike, I will say, is like it's almost a Step Up film because it's like a lot less stripper focused and a lot more look at these awesome dancers focused. Every now and then it's a little strip move once and again.
Sometimes Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool shtick, even though I haven't seen Deadpool movies, it can be a little annoying to me.
All right, so we're gonna for these last few rounds to help us decide, we're actually back up to a 4-person panel. Hi, Lo.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
1,000 apologies. I drove back from Las Vegas to California last night, which is about an 8-hour drive. And I didn't have an alarm set for this. 1,000 apologies, but I'm happy to be here, Larry. I'm always honored talk sexy people with you. So thank you for having me, and sorry for being late, you guys.
Well, you're going to help us decide in these. I think we're down to what, like the quarterfinals. We're at the quarterfinals. So we're doing Channing Tatum v. Ryan Reynolds. Low.
Oh, yikes. Jumping right into it.
Yeah.
But Larry, from the last time I was here, you kind of know my type, so not really a big muscles guy. I'll take Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't tickle my fancy.
God, it's okay. So it basically comes down to the determining factor. Like we said, though, the problem is Ryan. His big push is that comedy, but Channing also does comedy really well. And Ryan just can't move like that. So I also have to go with Channing. I have to do it. I really thought I was going to vote for Ryan Reynolds heading in, but it just...
In Ryan's defense, though, he's a lot better of a normal actor than people give him credit for. I just think he got so stuck on that whole Deadpool persona, but I think, I've seen him in other things that were fine.
And he did pretty
Stuck in a weird, not so good train for a while.
He did pretty good dancing in Spirited, I thought.
Well, Rachel, obviously, I just did not pay attention to Spirited at all. I pretended it didn't exist and kept it pushing. I'm just gonna be real.
So cute.
It was really good.
I saw Christmas, I heard mixed reviews, and I kept it pushing and pretended I didn't even know it existed. So
it was very fun.
There was a lot of
really
people
enjoyed it.
a lot of people hated that movie.
Really
Like I saw
fun.
some people who liked it, but I saw a lot of people who were like, "This is terrible." So
Yeah,
I
It's
was
in
like,
my top 10 of the year. I really enjoyed it.
To just hate movies that are musicals because they're musicals.
Yeah.
also, I don't have Apple TV Plus, so
That is definitely a negative.
I'm also gonna say, I if it comes on Apple TV Plus, I just don't watch it. Like I didn't watch Emancipation. It's not just a Christmas movie. It's anything on Apple TV Plus. I'm out of luck. So that's just how it is. I'm not willing to pay for it either. So don't do it.
Did the world need another Scrooge remake? That was my only issue, but
Bloop.
It's not. It's not. We don't have to have a whole discussion about it, but it's not.
okay. I'll check it
Oh,
out.
okay.
That's not the topic of discussion today.
Yeah, right. You're like going a huge detour about
You know,
It wasn't perfect, but I had a great time with it. I thought it was a blast. So.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Ren is on your side, Rachel.
I'm on
She's
your
right
side.
there with you. All right.
I'm also a theater musicals person.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Channing is moving on, though. So we have no more Spirited in the competition. All right. Next up, we have Miss Jennifer Lopez, and she is going up against Haley Steinfeld. And Ren, you're going to kick us off on this one.
Haley Steinfeld.
Oh, all right. Haley's she's sweeping in for you.
She swept me off my feet.
All right. Low.
Just fallen in love with her, madly in love with her.
Oh goodness, this is difficult. Just on one spectrum, I just want to say how amazing Jennifer looks at her age. Like it's like incredible. I don't know what fountain of youth
Seems
she drank
impossible,
from.
really.
It's insane. Like she doesn't look that much different from 10, 15 years ago. But man, Haley's adorable. This is so hard. This is like youth versus age. This is like, but you know what? I'm gonna give it to the OG. I grew up crushing hard on Jennifer and Selena. So anything for Salinas, I'll give it to Jennifer Lopez.
Is this Haley versus J-Lo in a battle of vocals?
have to
I
give it
actually
to
think
Haley.
J-Lo is not a particularly
Yeah,
good
I
singer.
feel like
She
it's-
came up in the era of, can you use some auto-tune and can I dance? Fuck yeah, she
I was
can
gonna
do
say,
that.
listen,
But
Yeah.
battle of
Our
vocals, I'll
producer
give it to
did some work.
Haley.
yeah.
But battle on the dance floor, I'm giving it to J-Lo. So,
Thank
you know,
you.
all
Bye,
right.
girl.
Rachel.
It is a hard one. They're both totally different. So where I was talking about one similar before, these two are like completely different casting types. So I will go with Haley Steinfeld.
All right. Well, I have, with my friend Leo, I find Haley just a tad bit overrated. I'm going to say it.
Oh.
So I will be voting for Jennifer Lopez. Because for all of her other shortcomings, she is stunning, impossibly stunning. And the body is just there. So that takes us to a tie. So now that we're back to 4, we go back to the voting online, and these two both did make it this far. This matchup happened, but it was Haley Steinfeld who came out on top on Twitter and Instagram. So Haley,
That's kind
welcome
of
to the
shocking. I
Final
would have
Four.
imagined that J-Lo had more rabid fan base coming to support
I think
her,
it's just Haley's kind of the it girl of this moment. So Haley's doing it. See Tyler, he doesn't like the Haley Steinfeld slander.
Is he
Listen.
throwing tomatoes?
He's throwing tomatoes at me for that slander. All right, well, next up we have Mr. Henry Golding up against Mr. Jamie Dornan. Rachel, we're gonna kick this one off with you.
Oh, I do think both of these men are very attractive. But I think I have to go with Henry Golding.
All right, Ren.
I have to go with Henry Golding. Absolutely.
Perfect. Low.
Okay, so you remember last time we did this? Some of these people, I don't know who they are. It's the 50 Shades guy, right?
Yeah,
It is the 50 Shades guy.
the Belfast guy. Let's give him.
Oh yeah,
And the Belfast.
out.
Hey, that was really cool.
We just got to see more of him in 50 Shades.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I don't know if I could ever
a
get
lot
myself
more
to watch this.
enjoyable in Belfast.
But he is a much better actor in Belfast.
Yeah, he sings in Belfast.
Yeah, I love that part.
Or if you're like Rachel, you get to see quite a bit of him too, because he's out on the beach in Barb and Star. And he's dancing around and doing his little
that
thing.
is on my watch
Open up your eyes.
Well, Belfast was really good. I liked him in it, but I think Henry Golding's amazing. And I agree with you guys, because I actually was getting ready and I had this stream on. Henry Golding needs a new agent. Like, what the hell? He needs to be in other things than what he's been in. He's just, it's a travesty, from Snake Eyes to, I mean, he was okay in what was Guy Ritchie's picture, The Gentleman, but
I would have
he needs
much
to do more
preferred
things.
Henry Golding in 50 Shades. I don't know if he's a good actor or not yet, to be honest. I've not yet seen anything that makes me think that Henry Golding is any good, like, as an actual actor, and that might be part of the problem, but
Listen,
he's charming as fuck, and I think he could
I'll
get
be
away
back.
with a lot.
I'll be seated again for him. If they did a remake of that and put Henry Golding in, I'm in the theater. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I don't care. I know what I'm getting myself in for, but I'll be in the theater seated. So that's just how it is.
Shades?
Yeah. I don't think he would do it. It doesn't feel up his wheelhouse as a person, I would say. You should watch. Well, he just oozes charm. That's like the thing with Henry, is he's one of those actors. We haven't seen him take a role that really stretches him outside of that like charm. So that would be fun. I think the most I've seen is this movie called Monsoon. That was really good. That was like this little indie queer movie. That, once again, when in doubt, vote gay. Henry Golding is playing a gay character as well. So just nobody watched the movie, unfortunately. So wow. All right. Next up, we have Mila Kunis up against Gabrielle Union. And Ren is up first on this one.
Mila Kunis.
Oh, okay. She just jumped right in.
Yeah, because I can't. Her big blue eyes are everything. They're so big and beautiful.
Low.
And I think also humor goes a long way. I love that she's funny, and yeah, I'll take Mila too.
Okay, Rachel.
What is it again?
Mila Kunis versus Gabrielle Union.
Oh, yeah, Mila Kunis.
All right, I'm gonna be the odd one out. It's just, look, she made the stamp on Bring It On, and it's never gone away. So I have to vote for Gabrielle Union. But Mila Kunis is moving on, and certainly not a bad choice. Next up, we have Mr. Chris Pine up against Ryan Gosling. And Lo, you are up first on this one.
I would say Chris Pine's great. I think he's a great actor, but I have a soft spot for Gosling. This is going back to like Remember the Titans, like this little country boy thing going on. Yeah, okay. I'll take Ryan Gosling.
All right, Rachel.
Ryan Gosling for
Oh, all right. Ren.
Chris Pine flashing around, singing agony forever, please.
He was
That's
his.
true. He was fun in that. I forget about
That was
movie.
his. He was the best part of that whole film. I'm just gonna say it. His
And
sequence
that's the
was
best song in the musical.
the best part of that
By
film.
far.
But I have to say, I don't know. This last press tour is what cost it for you, Chris. I have to vote for Ryan Gosling.
Never forgive him for that haircut, will you?
How he was looking this past year, it changed my view on Chris Pine just a little bit. I know some people like that hobo look. It wasn't for me. And Ryan Gosling's been looking good this past year. So
I do feel like Ryan Gosling always looks the same. He's not a
Yeah, he hasn't
particularly
changed.
transformative actor. He always looks.
But
good.
look,
I mean,
I thought
good,
it was.
but-
I thought he could have looked ridiculous, but instead, I think he looks damn good as Ken with that hair, with the little outfits. I'm like,
he's
oh,
already a Ken doll.
okay.
He's the
Looking-
perfect choice.
he looks good as Ken. So I have to agree with Ryan Gosling. I'm sorry.
Wait, so Ren,
Chris.
the beard doesn't change anything for you? Like beard on, beard off?
No, on Chris
Okay.
Pine.
Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. No, not really.
Okay, so he looks the same without even
He
without
looks
the beard.
exactly the same.
Yeah, he does
Slightly
facial hair
burlier
well.
version. He's
Yeah.
the depressed version of himself.
The depressed version. All right. Well, next up, we have Amelia Clark up against Dakota Johnson. And I believe it is Rachel up first on this one.
Dakota Johnson.
I
Easy.
was like, I feel like I know where she's going. She's gone. She's gone a certain way in this matchup every time. So, Ren.
Amelia Clark.
All right. Low.
I would say no offense. I don't know Dakota Johnson that well, but give me the Mother of Dragons.
Poor Rachel. She's
No,
that's part of the problem. She
I mean, if
hasn't.
she was in a good movie, then I could actually.
Yeah.
She's
I think if you would have seen her as Daenerys Targaryen, it's
I
really
mean,
hard to not.
She's mother. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. She's
Daenerys
mother.
is hot. Amelia
Wait,
Clark
can I-
might not even be that hot, but Daenerys is.
But
Just,
I think she is
Agreed.
hot as well as a brunette, as a blonde. She's versatile in her sexiness.
I know,
Where
and she
else-
has been in bad movies. I just never seen her good in anything.
Poor Rachel.
Where else can I see Dakota Johnson? I don't really know her that well.
50 Shades.
Is that
Once
the
again,
only thing she's in?
no,
She-
she's
No, she was in
well,
what
a
was
lot of
that
indie stuff.
movie
Did you
with
see
The
Suspiria?
Room?
Oh,
She's in Suspiria.
She's in
She was in that movie
Suspiria.
with Chris
His mother.
Hemsworth and
Okay.
Louis Pullman. Midnight at the
yes.
Peanut Butter Falcon was good.
Oh my God,
Okay. I
the
missed that one.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Bella Time
Okay.
to the Elbow. She was in that.
Yeah, I was like,
She was in what was it? A Beautiful Song or something like that.
Yeah, she's been in a lot. She was in that little one everyone loved, but I didn't want to watch Cha Cha Real Smooth last year. That-
I missed that one too. Okay.
yeah. But all right, next up we have Luke McFarlane up against Noah Centineo. And I do believe Ren is up first on this one.
Noah Centineo. Yeah, definitely. It's
Ren,
that
I thought you were
Italian boy
like,
vibes. I can't.
even though you're Italian, I thought you were like so against the Italian boy look.
No, only when they're greasy. It's weird. I like a greasy white boy, but not a greasy
Oh,
Italian
okay.
boy.
Yeah, that's why the Chris Pine kind of homelessy look last year.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah.
fine. That wasn't a deal breaker, you know. But greasy Italian, you know, and
No,
she
no,
can
no,
say
no.
it because she's mostly Italian, you know. All right. Low.
I'm hella mad. I've been wanting to see Bros. I haven't seen it yet, but dang, I don't really know this guy that well. But I guess I don't know. I'll go with Noah. I guess I'll go with that
Okay.
charm he's got.
Ren, have you seen
Yeah.
Bros?
I have.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if you'd seen it or not. But
I
yes,
have
watch
watched
Bros.
it.
It's quite funny.
I did. It's on Peacock, so I watched it.
Perfect. And Rachel.
I go with Noah. I just think he's so charming.
Okay, well, once again, I'm like the Noah hater on the panel. I'm going to be voting against Noah once more. I'll be voting for Luke McFarlane, but Mr. Centineo moves
Have you seen him in
on.
anything other than Black Adam?
Lord, well, that Black Adam, I mean,
they didn't use him well in Black Adam.
Talk about somebody who's not been in great movies. I
I've
saw
seen
him in
all of
Charlie's
those
Angels.
Yes, I Love You movies.
Oh, I
Those
didn't
are
know he was
very
in
cute.
that.
He's
He's
great.
in Charlie's Angels, and he's he's not terrible per se, but everyone's kind of terrible in that movie. I'm not gonna, and I love Naomi Scott and I love Kristen Stewart, and they are terrible. So,
I
but
didn't know he was in that.
Noah, I feel like I saw him. He was in something else that I can't recall, but I've seen him in something else. I don't think he's bad in anything, and I do think he's very charming. I just hate that he was like a Deadpool light in Black Adam. Like they
Yeah,
literally
he
were
was
just like, let's
bad.
make him a little Deadpool character, basically. Ugh.
That whole movie was not great.
Yeah,
Lucky
no.
for us, James Gunn's throwing everything out, and we get a
Well,
whole brand new.
Except his friends ran. He's keeping all his friends, and he's
yeah.
throwing the rest of them out.
So bizarre.
So, all right,
Well,
and
if the reason they hired him is because his movies are the only ones that do well, I think he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Suicide Squad bombed. It just was good. That's the thing. It was good, but it bombed. But
that they also put it up on HBO, right? At the same time they put it out in theaters. I think there's always like a questionable,
yeah,
okay, but really, how many people would have gone to the movie theater if they couldn't have watched it streaming at home? Do we really know?
yeah.
anyways,
I mean,
we can
it
have a
is
whole conversation
questionable.
about it another
There's
time.
a questionable box office period for sure. All right, our final matchup. We have Zoe Deutsch up against Rachel McAdams. I see Lowe's looking it up, so I'm gonna start with you, Rachel.
I think these two are very similar. But I think I go with Zoe.
Okay, I wish we would have known at the beginning, but we could have done like a drinking game of Rachel. Every time she says that two of the contestants look similar, take a shot. Some people would be very drunk by this point in the live stream, I think.
These two are going after the same parts. It's just a rally.
I will say Zoe and Haley Lou Richardson, they have a very universal look. So I think that anytime they're in a matchup, if the other person is white, they kind of fall under that. Well, you two seem very similar. All right, Ren.
Rachel McAdams.
Oh, okay. We're back over to Rachel after a couple rounds of not voting for her.
I think Zoe Deutsch is another one of those people with a tiny little chipmunk face that I'm not super into.
Okay.
Some people love that. There's lots of actresses that do very well for themselves with tiny little weird chipmunk faces.
Lo.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually know who Zoe Deutsch is, and I have a weird soft spot for her. It's really odd. I think she's hilarious, and as much as Rachel McAdams was good in Mean Girls and stuff, and I think she's a better actress. I want to go with Zoe here. I will take the underdog. I think she's great. I think she's really fun, and I like her in everything I've seen her in. So
set it up so good.
I will say, I think Zoe. She was the one that was in the outfit too, right? Or was that Haley Lou Richardson?
No, that was Zoe.
Okay, I was like, I think it was Zoe Deutsch that was in the outfit, and she was very good in that. Yeah, she also pulls off a lot of hair colors. I will say that. Like she does blonde, but she pulls off black really well or red really well. So does Rachel. She pulled off that blonde beautifully, obviously, but she can pull off a nice redder tone or brunette.
And she was in a Christmas movie. It was like something like Tiffany's or something this last year, which wasn't the greatest, but she was really
Rachel
good
McAdams?
No,
Zoe.
Zoe.
I saw that one. That's the thing. I have a thing for her.
She was beautiful in it, and she pulls off the red lips so well.
And Rachel looked really good in Multiverse of Madness last year. I mean, she was given
2 seconds.
She still isn't given nearly enough to do in the MCU. I wish they would find something to do with her rather than what they've done with her in the 2 Doctor Strange movies. But I have to stick with Ren on this one and vote for Miss Rachel McAdams, which leaves us at a tie. So it goes to whoever made it furthest, and that was Rachel McAdams. So Emma Stone took Zoe Deutsch out in the online voting. So Rachel made it this far on the Instagram stuff. All right, our semifinal, our final 4 men and our final 4 women. First up, we have Channing Tatum up against Henry Golding. And Ren kicks us off for this one.
Oh, fuck, man. Dang. I think I gotta go with Henry Golding. He's like a perfect specimen of a man.
Hey,
It really is.
Beautiful.
I
It looks
mean,
like he,
come
like,
on.
stepped out- He's like Excalibur, but a man, and like stepped out of the lake.
Like, what more do you want?
Perfect creation. It was like he was sculpted to be gorgeous, universally gorgeous.
All right. Lo, do you agree?
So I want to say that humor does go a long way, and I totally forgot how awesome Channing is in the 21 Jump Street movies. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if Henry Golding walked up to me and was like, "Hey, Loretto," I would be like a flustered mess. I'd be like dropping my phone, like, "I'm sorry, what? Are you talking to me?" Like, the jawline, the smoky eyes. He's got something special. I'm gonna give it to the charming man himself, Henry Golding.
The British accent, the voice.
Yeah, the accent. Oh Lord, I'd just be like, "Hey, what?"
Well, just hearing Rachel commenting up in the corner, I think we know where she's going to
Yes,
vote. But
Henry
Rachel,
Golding.
and yeah, your dance moves have gotten you quite far from me, Channing. But Henry's a step up above what we've seen previous. And
He doesn't even need to move.
He doesn't need to move. Just stand there
like a beautiful,
stagnant.
perfect statue.
And just stare at you. You're just like melting. Like,
yeah, just it's over. It's done for.
Crack that little smile. There's little
Yeah.
like poses.
I mean, I think we all literally watching Crazy Rich Asians were just like, who is this man?
Yeah.
Where did he come from? And how do I see him more?
Again, back to the agent. Why isn't he in like a million more things? I would also probably theorize that we don't have enough really good like romantic comedies coming out, and he would be great in a bunch of the romantic comedies, but we just don't have like we don't have the vehicles.
I mean,
for
last
his
year
kind
we
of-
finally, after about a 10-year decade with almost no mainstream romantic comedies, last year we finally started getting some, which is so exciting. So hopefully now they'll keep.
We just need J-Lo and Reese to step up their game. Like, if they're going to return to the genre girls, we need you to step it up, because what you're bringing is going to send romantic comedies back out of the mainstream.
Back to editors. That's the problem. I don't know what happened to others. I would love to know from somebody who like lives and works in Hollywood what happened to editors, because it is very clear to me that they stopped having someone who knew what they were doing go through and slash that stuff down into some beautiful, streamlined, hilarious, fun, quick, done film.
Yeah.
I watched The Truth About Cats and Dogs the other night. Has anybody seen this one?
Yeah.
Is that Janine
Uma
Garofalo?
Thurman when she was like super, super young and hot, and Janine Garofalo
Yeah.
when she was like everything. And this movie is so cute and sweet. It's an hour and a half. And at the end, Patrick, my husband, was watching it with me. He was like, "Oh, that's it. It's over." I was like, "Yeah, man, 90 minutes. We're done. That's it."
I don't know though. I think actually a lot of these rom-coms are made under the more of the TV movie templates. I actually think most of them are in that 90-minute pocket.
It's just that Netflix is very hit or miss, questionable. With,
yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
as far as like, I wouldn't name editing as the biggest problem with
for a rom-com,
rom-coms.
maybe.
For me,
I feel like
Doesn't sound-
Amazon does bad too. I just watched the one with the guy, the one who was in Nightingale that I didn't. That
Sam
we're voting on.
Coughlin.
Yeah, it was like
Book of
the
Love.
language of love or something.
I don't think that's super long. I
It's
think
just
it's like
terrible.
90 minutes
and it
long.
like didn't the beats were all off, and it just was like not
Did
funny.
you like
I
that
think
movie,
that's
Rachel?
The big key thing is like
I
I
didn't
could
go
sit
fresh
and
on
watch
it.
a really funny movie for 2 hours if it was really funny and the jokes kept coming, but you can't do 2 hours of like actual
It's
comedy.
an hour and 46, so maybe a
Was it
little
an hour and
too
40?
long.
It felt like 2.5 hours.
I didn't go fresh on it, but I didn't hate it. Like, thank you.
Oh, I did
Okay.
not
I
like
was
that
Do,
movie.
do you guys
at all.
remember how big Hugh Grant was? Like when he was doing his
Yeah.
rom-coms? Why can't Henry? Come on. Like,
Yes, that's what I'm
He
saying. Like
could.
we should have
He
Henry
could be
Golding.
Hugh
We should have
Grant.
Notting Hill with Henry Golding, please.
He could be
Please.
Hugh Grant. He could totally be Hugh Grant.
Well-
I mean, until, like I said, there was really like a 10-year drought with like mainstream rom-coms. They just weren't made for a long time. And then finally we're getting back to where we're getting some, rom-com releases in the big screen. I mean, it was pretty much you had to go to Hallmark or a place like that in order to watch romantic comedies. And,
Well, 10 years of Marvel and everybody looking and being like, we have to do that. That's the thing that everybody's going to the movie theater to do.
Well, yeah,
Speaking of
We have to go
Marvel.
do that. Yeah, when's the Henry in the MCU?
Ooh. I mean,
Speaking
why
of
not?
Marvel,
it's no secret that most movies were made for a long time for 17 to 23-year-old men.
Yeah.
And so anything made for women was like an occasional 50 Shades or something like that. And you had to go to a network like Hallmark to get programming that was really made for women, for better or worse. And so, it's exciting that we're starting to get some diversity.
My husband loves romantic comedies, and I would wager there's a lot more of him sneaking around
we have a lot
quietly
of
enjoying
listeners.
them.
We have a lot of
sneak.
listeners
They're
of
in
our
the shadows.
podcast that are men, more than you think.
Well, I'm a
Of
man
Hall- of
who
Hallmarkies
is
podcast.
unfortunately not on the boat of enjoying
You
romantic
don't
comedies
like
by and large.
sweetness.
I like I said in a recent review, I like the sad romances. I like romances that are just kind of doused in a bit of sadness. They're a little bit existential. Those are my kind of romance.
Which is fine, but don't you agree that like a
Like
variety
Portrait of a
movies-
Lady on Fire. That's the kind of
Yeah.
heartbreak I live for. That
You
kind
Larry
of
needs to get
romances,
wrecked.
right? The ones that have a little bit of a...
most of the queer romances are like sad. So
But you loved what's that cute one? Not Love Victor, Love
Love Simon, yeah.
Love Simon.
I do love a cutesy young girl. I probably
You
I'll,
only
I'll
like it
give this.
cutesy if it's gay.
Maybe I know. See, I'm like, if it's gay, I'll watch it if it's cutesy. But if it's like to all the boys, I'll just skip. I'm sorry.
Oh, I
Sorry,
love
no.
That one's
I
so
know.
cute.
That's
I'm
why I
sure
like
would
Noah.
love it. I'm sure I would actually really enjoy to
You're
all
so
the boys.
biased, Larry.
But
Damn,
listen,
to all the boys, Shade? What is happening?
I pretty much shade Netflix at large. I'm just gonna be real.
Okay.
So it just is what it is. I mean, look, Titanic. I told this story before, but when I was a kid, we had the VHS tapes. This shows you the kind of child I was. I wouldn't watch the first one. I would just put on the second VHS tape and start it there.
The boat goes down.
That's the part of the movie I was interested in as a small child. So
Larry,
there we are.
watching Poltergeist over and over again, and the sinking of the Titanic.
Lord. Well, on that note, let's jump into our first female matchup of the
What a fucking
semifinal.
dark little kid.
I know.
We
I don't know. I
have.
think a variety is good. I think movies
I
should be
do.
made
I
for all
agree.
audiences,
I
and that we
agree.
shouldn't just be getting one type.
I just
Agreed.
moved past the half of them. But we have Miss Haley Steinfeld up against Mila Kunis.
Ooh.
Ren.
Am I the first pick? I had
You
to do Henry
are.
Golding. Let somebody else.
Okay,
go.
fine. You, Low.
Oh, hey, you there?
You in the corner here.
Dang. Oh my God. No, I have a soft spot for Mila, but you know what? I'll give it to Haley here. I just versus JLo is a different story, but I'll give it to Haley here.
Okay, Rachel.
I'm gonna go with Haley as well.
Ren.
Oh man, this is hard. If it were not for Dickinson, probably I would go with Mila Kunis. But Dickinson, which is on Apple TV, is just so lovable, so likable, so charming. Yeah, Haley. I'm gonna have to go with Haley.
All right, well, I got to keep the hate train going. I'm voting Mila Kunis, but
Do it. She's
at
great.
at this point, Haley Steinfeld moves into the finals. All right. In our final male side matchup, we have Ryan Gosling, a star of a sad romance, mind you. I mean, he got his big reel, like one of his most iconic roles is a sad romance in The Notebook, up against Noah Centineo, who is in the very sweet romance comedies on Netflix. And Ren, we'll start with you on this one then.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Noah Centineo.
All right.
Wow.
I know it's. I actually think Ryan Gosling is very, very basic attractive. Noah Centineo has got a little more hotness going on. But
Okay.
yeah, Ryan Gosling to me is like what you would draw if you were like, draw an attractive white male. Like that's what he would be. Noah Centineo is like, he's got something going on there.
Okay. Low.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a charming kid. Don't get me wrong. I picked him in the last round, but I'm just gonna go with the body of work. I mean, whether it's like Blade Runner or La La Land, I think Ryan Gosling's got a lot going for him in terms of what his his versatility, in my opinion. Noah's got a long way to go, but I'm glad he's doing well in this tournament.
I have to
All
say,
right.
La La Land is a strike against Ryan Gosling for me,
Oh.
but you weren't here for that little breakdown. Me and Rachel are
I
on the
love
same
La
team
La
of
Land.
like, La La Land.
Oh, yeah, I love
I don't
La La
hate
Land.
it. I just don't think it's
I didn't
That's
say
it,
hate. I said,
musical.
La La Land.
All right, Rachel, we're tied up right now. Which way are you going to lean?
I'm gonna go with Noah. I think he's so charming. I think he's gonna be a big star.
Okay, well, I am maybe going to shock because I haven't voted for him in the last few rounds, and I have voted for the other person. I'm going to vote for Noah against Ryan Gosling. I agree. There was a time where I generally was kind of like, I don't understand the Ryan Gosling thing for a little bit early on. I've grown to understand it more. I think maybe, I don't know, I've found him more attractive later on in life. Maybe that's because he's taken a lot more interesting roles. He's become he has a very wide catalog of films that I enjoy. So that's probably a good part of it. But I do think Noah Centineo is very attractive and charming. So I'm gonna go with Noah on this one.
Hey, Larry, can I ask you,
Alright.
did you like Gosling in The Nice Guys? Like that version of him?
I
like that?
love
love-
that movie.
I love The Nice
love-
Guys.
Just
I love
watched
it,
recently.
and he is so funny in
good.
it.
He's
I
such
think
a
again
dork.
he
I
should
don't
get
know
more
why there's
chances
not
to be
more of those
funny.
movies. I would watch those two and their little weird
Yeah.
detective agency.
I like
in
him
like
in,
5 more movies.
I think Ryan Gosling's probably peak attractiveness for me, at least, is Crazy Stupid Love. I think he's
Nice.
very.
He is very attractive in that as well. Little Emma Stone action
screensaver.
there.
Yeah, they have great chemistry
That's kind of a sad
together.
I
I
think it's
liked him
classified as a
mentoring
rom-com,
Pharrell.
but is it? Like, I feel
It-
like
it
it's
is.
so drama. Like, it's very
This is
sad to
blame
me.
Judd Apatow for the destruction
Yeah.
of the rom com.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
I think there's some truth in that, actually.
All right, well, our final matchup of the semifinal
I
round,
need to have you on Hallmarkies podcast.
we have Amelia Clark up against Rachel McAdams. I'm going to start with the person I think I know who they're voting for. Let's start off with Rachel.
I'm going with Rachel McAdams. She's actually been in a good movie.
I was like, I feel like I know where she's going, so let's get her vote out the way first. All right. Ren.
Mother of Dragons.
All right. Low.
Yeah, she's great. And I'll go the other way. I'll say Akira from Solo: Star Wars Story.
Let me tell you, she looked so good. Look, Rachel,
She
come
looked
on
great.
now. She looked
was so hot.
so good in Solo.
Yes, she was. I was like, wow. Stay with her, Han. Like,
Yeah, if it's not clear, I love you, Rachel. I've been championing you these last rounds, but you came up against my queen. I'm sorry. I'm voting Amelia Clark. So our finals are set, and funnily enough, one of our finals is the exact same as the social media. The other one is halfway the exact same. So on the men's side, we have Henry Golding versus Noah Centineo. And I believe we are kicking things off here with Ren.
It's got to be Henry Golding. He's
All
just
right.
knocked everyone out of the way so far, and he's just got that thing. I don't know even how to describe it. Again, he could just stand there doing nothing, and I would still be like, what a gorgeous piece of humanity.
All right, Low.
that was so eloquently put, Ren. I appreciate
He's-
that.
That's it. He brings poetry to the list.
Yeah, no. I mean, yes, ditto. Everything she just said. I think Henry Golding's great. This is his to win. I'll give it to Henry Golding.
All right, Rachel.
Henry Golding.
Was this Rachel's plan all along? Was to get an opponent up against Henry she knew he would beat? That's why she's championed Noah so hard.
He would literally beat everybody on this list. He is so attractive.
I also have to vote for Henry Golding here. It is what it is. And he did make the final in the fan vote, but he ultimately lost in the final to Chris Pine. So Chris Pine was our Twitter and Instagram winner. And here on our panel, we have righted that wrong in the finale and voted for Henry Golding. All right. And now we have our female battle royale. We have Emilia Clarke up against Haley Steinfeld. And Lo, you are up first on this one.
Oh my goodness. Put me on the spot.
Wait, let's just do this. Okay, so we already know. Rachel, actually, you go first.
What's it again? Sorry.
Emilia Clarke versus Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld.
And then we already know mine, so I'll vote second, Emilia Clarke. So we'll get the two that were the obvious, this one and that one, out of the way first. And now we'll circle back to you, Lo.
Okay, look, I'll give Rachel some credit because I also think Emilia hasn't done enough since Game of Thrones. She's
done a lot. More things. It's just, has it been good?
Right. No, well, exactly. I mean, I don't hate Solo anymore. I watch it again and it's okay. But yeah, I don't know.
It was so bad. And then the Terminator movie.
Oh, there it was. That's the one that pissed me off. Okay, see, that's the one where I sour on Emilia Clarke because I didn't like her in that role. Here, I'm gonna give it to Haley. I think that she's a shining star. She's so talented, and she's a great actress. Honestly, everything she's in. I just love her in. So,
all right, Ren.
You must do this to me. I'm just like sitting here looking at pictures of both of them, being like, okay, but really, who does it for me? Who is the hottest?
The finale.
I think
Haley
I have
Steinfeld has been in
to
good
pick Haley Steinfeld. I'm sorry, Larry.
It's okay. It's okay.
So hard.
I know
Haley
the people love
Steinfeld,
Haley.
like going back to the Dakota Johnson's got some curves on her. Haley's got some curves on her that Emilia doesn't have, and I think at the end of the day, that's what sends her just a little over the edge for me. Plus, as everyone has pointed out, Emilia Clarke makes terrible, terrible choices about the films that she's in. That's really right. It's hard, as a person who finds talent attractive.
I mean, but you like Last Christmas, so there's that.
I did.
You're a
She was
fan.
nominated for an Oscar. I mean,
Well,
wait, which one?
Haley.
She was in True
As
Grit.
a small child.
Oh yeah, when she was a little girl. I know.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of hard for me to that was actually another thing I was thinking about is Emilia Clarke. They might be the same age, but Emilia Clarke is
Amelia's
an adult,
older.
and Haley Steinfeld I've watched since she was a child, so it feels weird to find. Even if she's an adult now, it still feels weird. But they might be the same age, and it's all just
they're 10 years apart.
10 years.
Oh,
apart.
there you go. 10 years. I thought.
36.
Oh, there you go, Ren. She's your age, just a little older than you.
Great. I feel
See? Great.
I feel weird.
Ren's like, wait, maybe you should have told me that information first, Rachel. That might have played. But that was actually the exact same finale we got in the Twitter and Instagram votes was Haley Steinfeld versus Emilia Clarke. And that finale was literally decided by one vote. It was 40-39.
Wow.
Very close. But Haley Steinfeld ultimately did win the tournament on social media. And she won here. It's just me and Leo. Me and Leo are on the island alone that think she's a little bit overrated. But, I guess y'all love her so much. The internet loves Haley Steinfeld.
So even if I had picked Emilia, Haley still would have won because she went on the social
media. The tiebreaker would have went to Haley. So it was a done deal once Lo betrayed me. No. But also Bumblebee's great. Rachel, you also see, I should have really started harping on Rachel because she hates, what is that teenage movie Haley Steinfeld is in with Woody Harrelson?
17. That's true. I do
hate Heavy.
Oh,
she
I love that movie.
Hates Edge of 17 with Haley Steinfeld.
Edge of 17. Did you watch that and know that I would like it?
She does a very good job, and I understand why people like it. I just hate that sullen, mopey teenage archetype in movies. I just find it I'm so over it. And The Whale was my breaking point. I just said, I can't
Well,
deal with this. She was
that's
the
a different level.
worst
That
character.
the character in the whale was on a different level than Haley
Oh.
Steinfeld's
Yeah, I would
character.
say that was a
Um,
really bad character.
she was
Oh,
very
she was
vicious.
awful.
On a
Serial
new
killer
level.
training. It was just
Serial
awful.
killer in training.
I hated her.
Well,
I'm just tired of that. I feel like so many teen movies, like, where's the humanity in these characters?
it's because
I
we are. It's
understand.
our age group, Rachel. Now
Like-
that and look at us, like me and Ran, we understand the darkness. We
Like, I
understand the
understand
snarky
it's
dark.
like- but I don't know. I just feel like it makes me.
In
it's
the
just
dark.
It's a cliche. I don't like
we,
it.
we called ourselves Cinema Snark for a reason. We understand the snarkiness of
We're
it all.
shit talkers.
I prefer teen movies like Perks of Being a Wallflower or Love, Simon, or that have like a little more humanity to them. That I
Wow.
feel like we're actually listening to them and we care about their perspective.
Has anybody seen Do
No.
Revenge? Speaking
No.
of teen
I-
movies, it's on
I
Netflix,
won't
so
watch
obviously
it.
I heard it was
Larry
really
hasn't
good.
seen it.
I heard it was
I
like better
liked
than
Do
people think.
Revenge.
I've
It
heard,
had a lot of,
I've
like, a
heard
Heathers
it's terrible
vibe.
and good.
And it even had like it's Rachel's. It's got like your little like there. It's kind of sweet by the end. Weirdly,
Yeah, what's
it's
it called
dark,
again?
but kind
What's
of
it
Do
sweet
called?
by the
Revenge.
end. It's called Do Revenge.
It's got Maya
Oh.
Hawke.
Yeah, I
love.
heard. So I mean, I guess maybe I should give it a chance. If it's up the Heather's lane, maybe I will like
It
it.
is.
a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit.
what I heard.
Mhm.
Maybe it's
One
like
I
just
loved
campy
that's
enough.
totally underrated is Spontaneous. Did anybody ever see that?
I did.
So good. I thought it was
Who's the
really
female
funny.
lead in that one?
What's that?
Who's the female lead in that one?
It's Charlie Plummer's the male lead.
Yeah, I remember Charlie, but I'm like, who is the woman in that?
Catherine Langford.
Oh, Catherine Langford. Okay, I was like, I feel like it's somebody on our tournament, one of these white girls. No, it's her sister. It's one of the white girls' sisters.
Oh,
Josephine Langford is the sister to Catherine Langford.
I really liked that one. I thought that one was fun.
But yeah, rom-coms, they're making a little bit of a comeback. We had our little romantic
Yeah.
people here. The period piece has really never gone away though, like the romantic
No.
period pieces. I mean, it's not popular per se like it maybe once was, but we get at least one or two every single year. We get those
Yeah, I had like a
period
90s
romances.
thing.
Nice.
Where, yeah, there's lots of Pride and Prejudice.
If only-
Jane
if
there's
only-
one coming out
Emma.
this week. Emily called
Emma.
Emily.
Called what?
There's a period piece coming out this week called Emily about Emily Bronte.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm watching Cocaine Bear. I haven't really paid attention over there to that Emily. So
I'm
I'm
excited for it though. It looks really good.
Variety of genres
it's-
we have.
It's directed
Something
by
for
Fran-
everyone, Rachel. Something for everyone.
Emily is directed by Frances O'Connor, who was in Mansell Park and other, like, she was an actress in a lot of different movies.
yeah.
Anyway, so it's gonna be fun to see her direct. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we got lots of little period pieces that pop up. Unfortunately, last year, Dakota Johnson, Henry Golding were in one that
Oh.
two of us hated. Ren was okay with it,
Oh.
but two of us really did not like that persuasion. But
It's so bad.
Liked it.
so that's it. We
Wait,
have.
I want to go around here. I want to hear what everybody's favorite rom-com is before,
Okay.
like, of all time.
Wait, who won the guys?
Henry
Oh.
Golding.
Henry
Henry
Golding.
Golding.
So our
Henry
winners are Henry Golding and Haley Steinfeld. Social media winners were Chris Pine and Haley Steinfeld.
Okay.
So there we go. Favorite rom com of all time, huh?
So I can start. I don't know if this counts as a com.
Uh oh.
Moulin Rouge. I think it does. It's got lots of funny
No, it's
parts in it.
tragedy.
I was just say I would not consider that a comedy, but
No, throw it out, Ren.
Throw it out and think of another one. Okay.
You-
wait,
You're the
wait.
one who set the parameter of rom com. So
Great. Give me a second.
I mean, Christmas in Connecticut is one of my favorites. Old school. I love You've Got Mail. Clueless was probably my top 3. Bringing It Baby.
yeah.
I love.
Low.
You don't like Bringing It Baby?
oh no, I love Clueless. You mentioned Clueless. I can recite Clueless verbatim.
Yeah.
So
It's such a good script. I really enjoy it. So
And also,
this isn't a liar. And a what?
Alicia Silverstone still looks fabulous in the costumes, as we saw in the Super Bowl.
yeah, I will totally shoot you.
Yeah.
No, what is because I do like a lot of those like that I grew up with and things I hate about you type of stuff.
Hmm.
I don't know. Does The Devil Wear Prada count as a
Yeah,
rom com?
No.
Because that is number one for me. If it counts,
Only one more stomach flu till I reach my ideal
I
weight.
live for The Devil Wears Prada. So that if that counts, is my number one.
That one's
I don't think
funny.
so.
I would say I would have to break
If
mine
Moulin
down into
Rouge does not
categories, too.
count, Devil
Uh-oh,
Wears
see?
Prada also does not
Oh, I
count.
think then Devil Wears Prada is way more an outward comedy than Moulin
I guess
Rouge.
it just doesn't have that much romance. Like she doesn't really end up with it. Literally, it's a
Yeah.
breakup movie. She literally breaks up with her boyfriend through the process.
I guess that's true. That's true.
It's a workplace comedy more than a rom-com, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
I
I could see that.
I just like the snarky ones. Like I told Rachel, I know she doesn't like it, but like my favorite Jennifer Lopez one is literally Monster-in-Law. So
Oh,
I
that
generally
one's
like
good.
I like
Jane
the
Fonda's
snark
so
ones.
good.
Yeah. Lo,
I'll
did you
just say,
have one?
yeah, I'll just say like my personal favorite. It's just for me, and I don't care if it's for anybody else. Wedding Singer. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
love
that's
to watch Wedding
good.
Singer.
That one's sweet.
But if we had to go like classic Hollywood, my girl Audrey,
Yeah,
Roman
I love that
Holiday
one.
is one of my favorite movies of all time,
Mhm.
and it's so cute. And then I also have to say, When Harry Met Sally is just as good as everyone told me because
Yeah.
it took me a long time to watch it, and it's amazing. When Harry Met Sally is like the formula for how to do a good rom-com.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
Nora Ephron's writing is just on
Yeah.
another level than anybody else, in my opinion. I just love her.
All right, Ren, do you have your
Yes,
altered
I have
answer?
a couple other ones. So I love My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah, that's a good
Nice.
one.
Always been a fan of that. And Harold and Maude. That one's really
Yeah, that one's funny. I just watched that from I am doing the 100 Passions AFI 100 Passions list for my Patreon, and I just watched it a couple weeks ago.
Harold and Maude.
Yeah.
It's
Rachel
good.
agrees
It's one
with
of
you,
those that holds up
Tyler.
over time. Silly and charming and heartbreaking in all the right ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Rachel agrees. That's why she liked Let There Be Carnage because it's a rom-com
I thought it
With-
was a hoot. I
with
had a great time.
Venom, and Eddie Brock in their rom-com.
I didn't get
together.
the joke. I was like, what?
Yeah,
That makes
no.
sense. That makes
Not,
sense.
not
And they end
Michelle
up on a-
Williams.
Don't they end up like on a beach together or
Yeah,
something?
no, I mean it's literally a romance between Venom and Eddie Brock. Let's just
Yeah.
be very clear. That's what that second movie is completely.
and then like Larry, they break up and they make up, right? Like
it's the formula is there. They make up, they reconcile, and come back together. It's all
Another
there.
one of my favorites is The Father's Bride. I mean, I really like all of them in the whole series. Even the one last year was actually surprisingly good. But that Steve Martin one I love. I think. It's
Oh
so
man,
funny.
I did not like that new one they made. The one with Andy
Oh, I
Garcia.
liked it.
Like it.
That was
I
another one. I
did.
was like, this isn't funny. That was the problem with that one. It wasn't
Mm.
funny. Whereas Father of the Bride with Steve Martin, like they
Yeah.
understand like the beats of like the physical comedy and
Yeah.
the jokes and having the silly Martin Short character that kind of brings some comedy and levity
Oh,
into it.
They had
rom-coms.
some comedy, but I feel like it was actually smart of them to like make it a little bit more serious because you can't top that. What are you going to do that's more funny than Martin Short being insane? And so I actually thought the script was pretty solid as far as like them being immigrants and their experiences, and it did have some humor, but I liked it. But yeah, that Steve Martin one is, I just love it. I think it's so funny. And when he flips out about the hot dogs, that to me is like
That's the
perfect.
second one, right? That's the
No, that's the
one-
first one.
That's the first
Um,
one.
Yeah, when he flips out of those hot dogs.
I think about that every time I buy hot dogs or hot dog buns.
It's like my favorite scene in like all movies. I absolutely love it. So what are
pretty
you
great.
doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing.
Oh my lord.
I want to buy 8 hot dogs and 8 hot dog buns, but nobody sells. Yeah.
Oh my
Like, only
god.
sells
Larry, did you
12.
pick one?
Yeah. it's
Yeah, I just kind
hilarious.
of like listed. I don't know if I have a
oh, yeah,
definitive
he's like
one.
struggling over there.
I mean, because there's some cute ones that I liked growing up. I do love When Harry Met Sally. I also love You Got Mail. Like
Yeah.
the Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan ones are great.
It's really funny. You've got mail.
Like Joe versus the volcano. I love that one. I'm like
no,
the only
Ren,
person in the world.
listen,
who's
we
like,
don't
Joe
put
versus the
no Ren,
volcano.
no Joe versus the volcano. Ren, we don't
It's so
listen.
I like
We're-
Joe
nobody's
versus the
talking about that.
volcano. I'm with you on that one.
Thanks, Rachel.
I also
No,
love
no,
it.
no.
Have you ever seen Return to Me? The Mini Driver.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the heart
love that one.
transplant. Oh, yeah. That one's
Oh.
really sweet. I like that
See,
one.
Ren also watches those Hallmark movies come Christmas time. See,
That's right,
you should
right?
have her on the
Cinema-
Hallmarkies.
Cinema Snark podcast, but also enjoys. Listen, there's a
Yes.
place between people who are doing movies and they think they're doing a good job and they're not, and people who are doing movies that they know are like just for fun and they're like sweet and they know what they're
Yeah.
doing. Like
I agree.
I like when people
That's
are aware.
Rachel's argument. That's Rachel is swinging in the streets, telling people like this is why these movies are good,
Yes,
even if you people look down on them in film Twitter.
Rachel, I am all for. They are a very specific brand of what they are. I love watching those Christmas movies.
It's nice
at Christmas.
sometimes to sit down and know what you're going to get, and then get it and enjoy it, and there you go.
Is that what do you
I
watch
think they have
Hallmark
one on
Low?
HBO called like the Hollywood Christmas or something,
That
where
was
they
so
like
funny.
literally, they literally like explain the concept
Yeah.
of why people like these Christmas formulaic
Mm.
Christmas movies.
I was say I don't
Very.
really watch Hallmark, but I will say I actually like rom-coms. My only thing is the chemistry has to be there.
Yes,
Like
I
the
agree.
leads are everything, and if it doesn't
Mhm.
have that chemistry, then I'm just dismissive of it. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
well, thank you all so much for coming on, talking about sexy folks that have made a career, or at least a few
They're trying.
appearances, or at least
Come on, Henry, you can
finished.
do it.
in romantic roles or as a romantic partner in lots of or more than one film. Basically, some of these people we had to get a little bit nitpicky to get some of these folks in onto we had to broaden the spectrum to get some in and escort them. But thank you all so much for coming on and helping us decide our panel winners. I greatly appreciate your time. Rachel, do you want to let people know where they can find you if they've made it this far into the stream?
Yeah, you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. And we're doing Jane Austen month on my channel every Monday, Jane Austen review. So check that out. And then also with Hallmarkies Podcast, we cover everything Hallmark, rom-com, and holiday.
Perfect. And Lo.
you all can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. I'm a proud member of the Cinema Spot. Check us out at thecinemaspot.com. I write editorials and reviews for them, film reviews, and I also help edit. So check us out, cinemaspot.com. And yeah, thanks for having me, Larry.
Thank you for joining. And Ren.
You can find me on Twitter, but I'm not going to respond because I don't really do Twitter. But go ahead. It's Ren, at Ren Manley, I think. You can also, it's like, this is how onto Twitter I am. On Instagram at RennyPoo13. You can also visit my theater company. We do immersive art in Denver, and we are Audacious Theater. We're all over the place on the websites, on the social medias, all those fun things. And of course, you can check out the fantabulous podcast that I do with Larry, the CinemaSnarks.
Returning as soon as she sees women talking for sure. We'll be back for the Oscars season once she finds women talking.
Not enough. What's the multiverse? I'm gonna see that one tomorrow. Quantumania. Well, baby to see that one. Woo!
And this is real immersive theater, not just displaying screens around you in a room.
Correct.
That has become the popular projection immersion has become too popular. But thank you all. If you enjoyed this stream, hit that like button. Who do you think are some of the sexiest people that have made a career in the romantic genres of film? Leave that either in the comment section down below, or as you heard, you can hit us all up on Twitter, Instagram, some of us on Letterboxd. It's all a good time. I love you all so much for your continued support, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Maybe.